what was Super Sativas SSSC? Yeah.
Yeah, SSSC Bank, Super
Well,
Sativa Seed
yeah,
Seed Club. It was Seed Club, I think.
yeah. Uh, Um, they had the Auckland Indica that I remember that was around, and that's one of the thing I've never seen it again. But most of the other big one I've known that was from that company, I know place here and there that people have it. Like it's still been preserved in some pocket, But the Auckland Indica was one that I remember it was a bit late from what people were saying and a bit too long flooring for today's standard for indoor, I guess. Like it was a good 10 week and maybe a bit more, but it was like to me it was a bit like a Pakistani Kush with the kind of tone of skunk in it, if I can say that. Like a really skunky Pakistani Kush, if I can say. But that's not like the OG Kush. Not the same taste. It could be similar on, I don't know, but I was always guessing that it may have been crossed with something else on the West Coast also, because it was kind of popular here for a moment, and at one point people were just, I guess, tired or having the same clone for 20 years and move on. But they still had the Friesland, the M39, and a couple others. I remember one was I think it was a Thai. Uh, yeah, anyway, they had a Thai cross that some people I've seen here with it, and man, nobody freaking keep those things, right?
So how
Nobody.
long, Bob, how long did the storm last when it hit you? Was it did you get a full on hit? Did you were you hit by the eye
Maybe,
or like
maybe like a day. The eye
a
didn't
full
really,
day?
yeah, the eye didn't really hit us. It kind of went by south.
That can almost be worse too, because like what will happen is like you can then you get full sustained winds the whole time. You can get like just getting beside the eye is even worse than like having it pass through you, because at least you
We
get the
were
break
hoping
when
that
it.
we were hoping the eye would get real big and it just kind of just float over Jamaica, Like, yeah, man, just give us,
Oh, you muted yourself, Bob.
yeah, man. So, as I said, we just give thanks that everything is all right, It didn't,
That's
there
great.
were very few loss of life across the island.
Well, that's
Very
good.
minor.
That's good.
And we
Yeah,
just
man.
go forward again.
Yeah, man. Lots to build back after that happens.
Yeah, man, definitely. I'm getting a little buzz, so I have to make a quick pickup and then I see if I can catch up with you guys a little more. But I was just saying, give thanks. I know a lot of people reaching out, Some of us want to check in and say, still have
That's
life, some good ganja. We just give thanks for the moment.
yeah, man. Well, man, I'm sorry to hear about your bad luck with all that things, but I'm glad to hear things are shaping up there. I'm glad to hear that it wasn't too bad. It didn't take no, it didn't cost too much life there in Jamaica. I know how those
Yeah,
storms can be. I don't know. Man, like yeah, just I had lost my house one time when I lived back in Antigua to Hurricane Hugo, so I know what it's like. It's quite the thing. But anyways.
yeah, man, give thanks.
Yeah, give thanks, blessings, respect, man. Yeah, I hope everything goes cool with you there.
Definitely. Respects.
Yeah, man. Well, Evil,
Yeah, well, I got a strange news for tonight.
you got
I
strange news. Wow, I like strange
Yeah,
news.
I
What's the
wanted to
strange?
ask Panic to search for the video because
What's the
I
str?
don't want to hack another thing that I was watching just
Okay,
before you pass me the link.
Okay, what's the strange video?
Okay, it seemed like a dude have not on a girl's leg in a shop and went to run away.
You're just out.
Well,
We went from hurricanes.
yeah, I know. We have to break the ice here. So that's the worst way I found it. Well, okay, that was the strangest thing that I know from the last week, and I've just learned it tonight. Like, there's somebody that did that. Yeah, I had another news, but that one catch me by surprise. I was like, how can you do that?
Somehow that one didn't make it to my feed, but
No, I was watching a show tonight, and in that show they passed out the clip of that. So I know that you can find that clip.
There we go. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, we can totally hear you. Totally hear you. Can't see it. I don't know what's up with your camera.
I'll figure it out. Oh, issues. It's all right.
It's all right.
Dank just asked, I've always wondered if what was coming across the board in hockey bag in my hometown was M39. If you're on the East Coast, most probably that. Maybe Friesland or M39 or some crust like that. Maybe some bubble gum and whatever. There was like few strains that were going the same. I would say like the same strain grown all across. The same clone and stuff. I don't know. I would guess it's mostly that for the East Coast because all the Bubba stuff it came out after.
And big up chat. Big up the Major General, Lone Star Larf. Damn.
Oh yeah.
Big up
Decoy
Decoy Bacon, D Man, Aussie Outdoors, Dank by Drew, Agnes Bickett, big up. What's up, Mark? Yeah, man. Hope everybody's well.
Yeah, the funny part with all those, when
All
those
right.
time were a big producer or whatever, what's
to my-
always funny is it go by wave, right? So you have all those strains for a moment, and then you got a couple others. But what you have to remember is nobody cared what go out because the best stay in most of the time and get bought by people that have money, and you don't have to take any risk to pass it, right? That's what always happen everywhere. I mean, I've traveled a bit in the country just to know, and I've realized that when you're friend with someone, he always tell you like, don't buy stuff like sold in bulk, whatever. We'll get some good stuff, to smoke together. Like, forget about it.
Wait.
Don't buy some.
I see why you have to fucking ask Potent about this. This is a Philly man who did the
Oh, that's in Philly. That's why Steve must know that guy, right?
It's still not as bright as that guy that launched fireworks from his head and took his head off, dressed as Uncle Sam this week. That was the best part. Is he was dressed as Uncle Sam and tried to basically set off a mortar shell on the top of his head, on top of his hat. Took his head
So
off.
he got the Darwin Award of the year.
Yeah,
hope
at
his
least
mother
for 4th of
gonna be
July.
proud. His mother have something to be proud now.
Oh man. Oh, what? You can only view it in the Reddit app? What the fuck? I've never seen anything like this before that you can't see on the fucking computer.
What?
Like, dude, nutting on the
What?
The
Is
leg
that
nut.
video?
I think you can call the nickname it a leg nut now.
Yeah, dude.
A shot leg nut. Like, where that guy have picked that tiny, dude? Yeah.
Didn't even bring me there. That's bullshit. That's unbelievable. I can't. It didn't work. Totally didn't work. I found it on Reddit, but it won't let me see it. It's being And someday I'm gonna have to answer for these Google searches, Evil.
No, I've not. Okay, I can tell you on which show I've seen it. I can tell you that it's not me that searched it for. No.
Yeah, but now you got.
Now I'm gonna get it in my feed. I know.
Oh my
I've
goodness.
seen.
Well, all right, back to weed.
Speaking of weed, there's a big forest fire literally like a mile from Garberville right now. It's went from 7 acres to 80 acres in about 2 hours.
Damn. Let's see if I.
Called the Point Fire. It's on watch duty. But yeah, if you're in Humboldt, man, stay safe. It's not good at the moment.
Yeah, there's lots of fires.
Yeah.
Let me bring it. Oh, what did I do?
You share screen.
All right, I did the right thing.
All right. Oh,
damn! No, I'm not good with these mouse
Yeah.
controls. There we
if
go.
you go far away, there's a lot more up north. But those down south, everything's so freaking cooked by the summer heat. So
Where's the damn? There we go. You have to forgive me. There's Mendocino.
well, you were close by. Your mouth were just over Mendocino. Right there.
I don't see much there.
Mendocino National Forest. Just on top of Santa Rosa.
Timeline.
Stay back, it's very hot. Jesus Christ.
I don't know who's getting in trouble, but somebody is.
Be careful.
I did nothing.
Wasn't me.
It wasn't me, I swear. Oh, in Shelley.
There's one in Shelley. I don't know.
No.
There's
no.
another
It's
one on
just
top of
outside
the mountain,
Garberville.
right? Yeah, where's
Garberville?
Garberville?
I'll be right back.
I know nothing about California.
Well, it's up north, so don't go that south.
All right. I'm going back.
Okay, you're around there. So Mendocino, it's just on south of Trinity, and
That one is
you
Shelley.
got Shelley.
Bogus. That's an awesome name.
You live in a bogus city.
That's got to be it there.
Well, Chico is nice. Everyone is Chico. Hey, hola, Chico.
All right, let's see this place. All right, we got to go back out. We got to see North America was just burning up when we looked at it.
Yeah.
Man, Alaska. What the?
Alaska is great, and you can also, I mean, north of Alberta is pretty much in fire.
It did kind of get smoky here yesterday, but there's.
Well, it's not that bad. That what was like 3-4 years ago that a few years ago that the cloud was so big that even
man.
New York City had it.
Yeah,
it's like 2 years ago, maybe.
Last year, yeah, that was last year, wasn't it?
Last year
was the one everyone was bitching about us up here. But it's forest. The boreal forest. That's how the boreal forest is designed to reseed itself, right? So like, on that level, it's not supposed to. They're not supposed to be so big, but that is how pine set their seed, right? There's not many pine that don't use fire to reseed themselves. So Yeah, I don't know. It's a cycle. Um, like as well as we now put them out. We put them out a lot. We're a lot more efficient at putting them out, so that when we do get a big one, they build a lot bigger. So I don't know. And they say we have more treed land now than we did then. There used to be more natural gaps in the thing, and now because FMA holders are replanting and putting they also get credits for putting for seeding areas, right? So they'll get they'll get more they'll get more rebates basically from the government for planting more seeds, so they fill in more area than they used to. So there used to be more natural fire breaks. If you look back at photos from 100 years ago, that's what it shows. Is it shows there was way more natural openings and meadows and stuff. And
And the fresh growth doesn't catch on fire as quick. That's the
well
other thing.
also you had nomadic Native Americans moving around, which didn't have the best tools, so they would use all the dry wood in the forest in their fires, right? They didn't have iron axes for cutting down trees and making firewood, so they would have just taken what was there. They
Yeah, they
would
were cleaning the
they would
yeah the
use in areas, and as well as they did a lot of controlled burns themselves. The Native Americans would burn a lot of the grasslands and
well,
forested areas when it was safe to.
how north the bison were going?
Oh, the
Because
bison,
they're
they
yeah.
go way north. They go way north. We still have bison up in Zama here. We still have we still have wild bison here.
Because that's one of the thing that I was looking at some of the Midwest land management video from like some guy that are. It's funny because some people will talk about let's say more like of that hippie way of going back to the land and having your garden and being a bit more self-sufficient. Well, there's when you manage big land in the Midwest, there's not of that kind of farming. It's not the same type of farming. And I find it so funny to listen at those guys talking about their stuff because it's really similar, but it's not the same kind of land. And but the concept behind it, it's really similar, but it's more realistic because they have to manage so big that they don't focus on stupid detail. I listen a bit more to that, but it's not the same land here, so I'm more interested in what kind of thing they show. And one of the things they've shown is how deep the roots of those native plant in the Midwest were, and that when the bison were going there and whatever else that were grazing in those areas, not everywhere were getting stamped on and all that, but it was kind of allowing other type of plant to flourish and bounce back when those big long herb were down. The same thing when there's some horse where I have my hive and they still have to cut the lawn in those places because the horse won't eat everything and some wildflower growing small patch here and there. It's perfect for my bees, but if you want to get all equal grass that the horse is able to eat, well, you need to cut back a bit and limit those, to some area at least. And I was finding it kind of funny because it was like, well, back then you had those spots for all the bugs and all the edge of the land, all that. But when you do a really big land and you join everything together, all those small band of wood and those pits where you were all putting the rock and stuff like that there's wildlife that can go in there. Well, it's no longer nest the same population of animal in your place. And everything is a chain. So if the bugs don't want to go there, you have a series of other things that won't go there. And I found it quite funny to see how wherever you are, you can manage the land. If you got enough land, you can manage it in an organic way, no problem. It gonna be pretty much doing what you need for, but you cannot cultivate on all that area. You need to let some wide spot. And some region here, it's so much in the mountain that they were leaving a lot more woodland. And those places, people that buy it, they really love it that because they can hunt there, all kind of thing, and it's still, there's still a lot of. Oh, that's the guy. Okay, in the Dollar Tree in South Philly. Yeah, that's the guy I've seen.
Look what his shirt says.
It's not the going to lick itself. No. No, dude. We
Okay.
won't know it's you, right? We will never.
Oh, hold on. I found the whole thing, but oh
No,
my
no, just the shorts say too much.
the shirt says enough.
Man,
Oh my goodness.
okay.
I'd like to pre-apologize to everyone, but here we go. All right.
Yeah, I heard of some funny T-shirt, but the people that wear those funny T-shirts normally don't do that, and mostly not in a Dollar Tree shop. Where? Dollar Tree, yeah. And the girl is yelling like she's in shock, and she's right, man. I mean, what's that?
What the fuck? Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, I know we have to come out with the word news. So that was the weirdest one I could have found.
Well, that you I tell you, you did it today.
Sorry.
I don't know what to say about that one. Yeah.
I can't tell you where I've picked it from.
Oh,
But yeah, there's always some
I mean,
fun.
usually it's Florida man, I thought, but I mean, this time Philly man, but wow.
I did a joke to a Florida man in Philly last week, but no, it wasn't about that kind of thing. I've told the guy like, "Hey, was it you, the Florida man they talk about in the news?" And I just said that on his Instagram live, and he's looking at it like, "What? Could have been me?" I'm like, "No, I'm just kidding, dude." He was like, "Oh, okay, no, it's me, the Florida man." Well, there's always like that Florida man. We never know who it is, but it seemed to have a lot of people that have that nickname now. And he's not always from Florida. That one is from Philly, yeah.
Well, he's giving look, the Philly guy gave the Florida guys a week off. That's all.
Yeah, I think Philly is
Yeah,
taking the
yeah.
weekend, the week
Holy
shift.
cow. That's something.
Yeah, so play this guy, don't do that. Not in public. Come on. Anyway, ask before.
What's everybody out there smoking tonight?
Holy
Evil,
shit.
how about yourself? What are you smoking?
What I'm smoking that purplish things I've
Oh,
shown
that's
you earlier.
right. That purple hash when I was resetting my computer. Yes.
Yeah, that's purple.
I'm almost done. Just had to like reset up my computer and stuff from the other room.
So I don't know if it's a secret, but the technique to enhance even more, it's with UV. So let's say you dry sift
Yeah.
and you put it under UV light a bit, not too much, but it will help to kind of oxidize the trichome a bit, like if you were sun drying like American Way on the roof,
Huh, interesting.
You don't do that all the time that it's drying, but it aged the trichome from what I understand. It's different. From what I've got told, it's Mila that was giving the tricks to people. I think it's the Daba something. What's the freaking thing? The
Dabadoo?
I think it's Dabadoo, the thing that she's organizing.
Mila, yeah, she does the
Yeah.
Dabadoos.
Okay, it's Dabadoo.
Dabadoo.
I don't know. I just think it's Flintstone with Dabadoo.
I haven't really heard anything out of Mila in a while.
Well, I've seen her on few live on Instagram about that thing that when they did it in Oka, if I remember, or all I know is that she was in, I think, in Toronto and then in
Yeah,
Oka.
they had one in Toronto and they right before COVID.
Oh, on the reserve, it may have. I think it may have been private or invite only. Maybe that. I mean, holy crap!
Jilly bean, crust muffin, 9 months old, funky as fuck. Hell yeah. Jilly bean is some good ass smelling weed. I really enjoyed Jilly bean when I grew it.
I guess it must be a nice cross, but that muffin stuff, I think would be a fan.
The
Those
muffin?
blueberry muffin, not
I've
my kind of
heard
thing.
you know what? I've heard really good
It's
things about
pretty.
it
I
from a
mean,
lot of
I'm sure
people.
it's
But
good,
I've
but
heard I've shied away from growing it a few times because I've got it from Ethos and I've got it also from Agnes. Agnes sent it to me as well, but I've shied away from it just because, yeah, the blueberry. It's a blueberry in there. I overdid it with blueberry way back. And
well, the real blueberry was different than that blueberry muffin from what people have told me and shown the, the plant. And it was like,
oh yeah, for
I
sure,
don't
for
know.
sure.
It seemed good for what they wanted to do, but that's not what I like it about in the blueberry strain back then.
I don't know. I've
And
heard
I've
similar stuff.
always, I don't know.
I've
It's kind of older things that
I
I'm
think
not as much
it's
interested now.
I think it's one of those things. I think that if it was maybe named differently, we might be more interested in it. I think with the when it's got the muffin name, it also you immediately think of the cookies line in it. But yeah, and I think that may cause a lot of bias in some of us. But
Well, to me, the problem I got is not all the blueberry were tasting blueberry, but it doesn't mean that they were not good or whatever. But they had that kind of I don't know, a kind of funky floral, a tiny bit cushy on some, but the flavor were different. It wasn't all uniform. But when people were doing crust, it always had a kind of a touch that that you had some blueberry in it, whatever. But
see, I had
what's the
I
good smoke I had was mostly hybrid of blueberry, not necessarily blueberry. Blueberry was good in itself, but it's not exactly what most of the people want in a good line. It may be some plant are really enjoyable, but it doesn't mean it's gonna be like that super chunky and super potent and super strong or whatever. It was a really diverse line to dig into, from what I
see
understand.
I had one that I had a blueberry that was amazing. That like during flower, it really smelled like you walked into the room and it really smelled like blueberries. There was no other way to describe it. It was like being in a patch of blueberries eating blueberries.
Hmm.
Like it smelled like blueberries. But I found that it like never it was just decent weed when it got through, other than like you wanted to take people into the room halfway through the flower and let them smell it then, because that was the most amazing time. And it didn't really carry through to flower. It was just good weed when it went to flower, when it was all said and done. But I
There
don't know,
was
maybe.
some hybrid here that there was the blueberry bubble gum of Sagarmatha that had been crossed with the Friesland, and there was the other version with the pure blueberry of when like 96, 98, whatever that was more the indica, a bit like what the next generation use. That type of blueberry in the line, if I can say, more short, chunky and stuff. And the guy have crossed it with a pure Friesland, and that thing was skunky even in veg. And that was really a good one. And I would not say it was like Friesland, but he had that blueberry touch to it, and the Friesland was just making it stink even more. I don't know, it was really that one. I remember smoking a lot of it, but like early 2000. And if someone would get it back and say, "Oh, dude, I got an eight of that," I will try it if it's the same kind of thing of back then. But on all freaking thing I've seen, there's like so many hybrid of it that been done with some good strain, and now the people have kind of line bred or whatever. It's still there that I will maybe go back to those that I know that people when they line bred it, it's kind of a uniform a bit more for the the good stuff they wanted in it. Because when I wanted to try, let's see, the blueberry, I was finding it interesting to breed with it and continue the different line from what you get and you know
Man,
and play with it.
blueberry's got to be one of the most cross two strains out there. Like
Yeah,
it's right up
it's a lot.
there with
Yeah, it's a
it.
lot.
Yeah, everybody's played with that some way or shape or form. It seems like that's one of
That's like Northern
everybody's
Light
first
too at
cross.
one point.
Yeah, exactly. Like it.
Yeah,
Everybody's hit it to something.
I mean,
But
I've shown a picture at one point to one of my friends. I think the guy had a purple Oracle cross with Northern Light #5. And I show a picture to my friend. I was like, dude, look at that. It looked like a more chunkier purple Northern Light #5. And he's looking at me like, I don't remember much. I'm like, dude, you've seen Northern Light. He's like, yeah, but I would not recognize in a picture like that. I was like, I don't know how I've been able to recognize it without even seeing what was in it. I was like, oh, that look at Northern Light 5 cross, because it was like straight on like the plant I remember of. Well, you know, it's always like some of those lines that you know it's a couple plant that been used and you kind of see it back again and again, but it doesn't mean all the plant are like that. It just a recessive kind of trait that reappear when the people are lucky enough and they're pairing whatever. So that to me the blueberry it's a bit like, well, it never been bred to be uniform for what it was expressing, and he was playing on that note, and you know he was trying to do more you know, a different type of pairing that would normally you do for high productive and uniform variety. That's only about that. Because it's not a bad breeding. It had some interesting stuff, but I was laughing when at one point I heard Coot saying, "Oh, that Agnes is a cross with the Velvet Rush, and it's been kind of rejected from their breeding." And I see the cross with the one. I'm like, dude, they're silly. Look at that. Like huge, chunky, and everything, a giant plant. I was like, well, I don't know what they were choosing for, but I would have chose that.
nice.
So Beckett's a muffin best out I've seen been. Oh yeah, it's one of those best that you've played with. That's good. Uh, what early September that you harvested, or early October? What's that?
Give me 1 second.
One of those things I remember. a couple people talking about lately about those older outdoor line. Not a lot of them are blurring by themselves uh, more early than some strain now. And when people select for the last male to show up, it may be good on some trait, but I think that it's
Yeah, because
not necessarily always good. Like not the earliest male that just show by themselves super quick. I'm not talking about those, but
I think you don't
the
want either. I don't think you want, like, in a lot of ways you don't want either end. Like you don't want the first and you don't want the last.
yeah,
Like,
maybe you want to play a bit with the later
and
one, but not the
especially
last one. Yeah.
especially where you're trying to reshape genetics to like say work in a new area, right? You're trying to bring them
Oh yeah,
into
you
an
need to let
exactly.
more diversity to
So like,
show up before. Yeah.
and well,
Yeah.
like, let's just face it, like there'll be if it there'll be a large percentage that don't make it, but what did make it would have a higher will give you a better turnaround next time. So
Yeah,
like,
then you select for the best
yeah.
in those that are. Yeah, that's one of those things that when you get some people that will say, "Oh, it's not good to use too many male because you don't know which male really improve a line, and it's so hard to maintain a line. And if you just let
Well,
everything nuts on everything, you're gonna get a lot of those male that may not be desirable, but who had been the first one just beside to open,
yeah, but
and you know,
if you don't, then you're forcing a bottleneck, and then you're weakening
yeah,
you're weakening your stock. Like, yeah, I don't know,
it's a
like
double-edged sword.
it
So.
really is, like, it really is. It's a lot easier to just work with one, but like, if you want to preserve a line, you better be using multiple. And just for the strength of your line too, you're gonna want, like, if you're taking something to F7 or something, like, and you're running this thing forever,
Well, I
like,
think it's good to maintain different line also.
two,
And
yeah,
and on those
two lines
line,
and then cross them
you
together. Yeah.
focus on some dominance of that won't overcome the other good thing you want in something else maybe. And you may want to try to integrate here and there a different subline of that. I don't know, but at
Well,
one point all those breeding stuff that you would like to do on paper, when you do it in real life and start to do clone and backup of everything and run it and all that thing, it's a decade of work at least. You get
oh
one
yeah,
project
oh
like
yeah.
that, it's a decade of work. And so when I was talking with a guy the other day about like how much time you may work on a line, I don't know for everyone that's breeding more commercial line, whatever, but just let's say a number, 9 on 10 of your try will be a fail because it won't be as good or better. So whatever you
True.
play with, unless you play with polyhybrid that have some dominance of what you already want to work with, you need to fix those things. But you want to fix it without losing too many of the good trait that may come out. But those good trait may not come out in that phenotype that is dominant in, you know. So you're always trying to play around. And at one point, a lot of line people don't want to work with it because there's too many of that stacking trait over many duration, and you may want to preserve a different small pocket. But when people think at, let's say, deep chunk have been maintained by maybe other people than Tamil, because he was saying it was more around and stuff like that. He's been just one of them that preserve it for what he had. But
I don't know.
because he
Everything
had
that I've
small
ever
number,
grown that had deep chunk in it looked exactly the same. And then when I looked at deep chunk, it looked exactly like deep chunk. I've been told that
because
when
it's been
deep
inbred for so long,
and
because it will always look the same now.
it's so strong genetically that it takes over whatever you cross it with. So it comes
Yeah.
out looking more like deep chunk than anything else.
So that's what one of the thing when some people say advice for a more stabilized line or more per line, whatever. Okay, you may have that other edge of the sword. It's that deep chunk event. You want the dominance of deep chunk in your line forever, and with the buttress clone and all that thing, yeah, go for it. But you
Dude,
may
that
want to get good trade that beside those bad one, but those bad one are also
I
dominant
don't
in the
know
line.
that deep chunk. I grew a deep chunk cross Congolese, and like 9 out of 10 of them came out looking just like deep chunk, but like they were so fucking loud smelling. It's the first time that my neighbors ever came and like asked me if I could do something about it because it was like so strong. Like it smelled so loud. It wasn't like a skunky smell, but it was just like everybody knew.
Did it have that kind of black ash incense smell to that? I've never had deep junk around, but I know I've read about Tim Hill enough for that one.
It's just kind of it's like I would say like a stronger Afghan one, like kind of almost like it's just like a bolder, woodier. It's very woody. Like a sandwood, like it,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was really nice. It was really nice. It was like that one, like lot of I found a lot of the land races, like just don't like to be cloned. They just don't care for it, or I like,
Uh,
and
it may depend on some. Yeah, well, I don't know. I remember some stuff that were like cloning themselves, if I can say, like as soon that
oh,
you
dude,
know when
some
you
stuff you
they
just
call
cut
it
it and
air
throw it on the
layering.
ground and it starts growing roots. Some
Yeah,
stuff
well,
some stuff you cut you like yeah, it varies like.
we tried something with just slicing a jiffy puck and putting it around the stem and wrapping it, and we're having clone everywhere on the freaking plant with the roots growing out of that saran wrap. I was like, okay, so it's really easy. A bit like I remember people that had the ash plant back then. It was one of them that was really easy to clone. But at one point, I've realized that when people always keep it and not always super healthy, whatever, but you have one of your buddy that have it under a small desk light, whatever, that it just doesn't care much for it, but it stay alive. Well, you try to root those clone and it's too woody and it doesn't root anymore, or
Yep,
it's
yep,
super
yep.
slow. And then
I
you put it back outdoor in a good natural soil and try to rejuvenate all that. It can be done, but sometimes they just have, I guess, too much very slow to accumulate in them, and they no longer root as quick. And that's one of the, when people say, "Oh, I got some virus, it's haploid virus, whatever." Well, is it that? Oh, anyway, the
oh, you
virus
mean
that
the
everyone had.
what do you mean triploid
The
variegation? What are you
no,
talking? Or the where it has like two fucking where it
no,
all
the
when it
virus
auto branches?
that make the plant super weak
Oh,
and
the yellow and
yellowish.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
variegation. Yeah. I had
But
one like
anyway, we had,
they're only
and
cool.
I
They're
remember some
cool
friend
to look
that
at.
had.
Like
I remember some friend that had like some plant that were really just having in a corner, not caring much for it. Maybe just for next summer's cloning, whatever. But they were doing it years after years, and sometimes always just bonsai that plant. And they had good result for a couple years. And at one point, the plant was not able to throw out something good. And they were trying to rejuvenate some clone of that and trying to do their things, but I'm pretty sure now that it just because the plant had too much virus load and stuff like too much spidermite spray or whatever. And at one point, they should have made seeds and restart seeds and maintain few line and maybe have to hunt again in a batch of seeds. But most of those people starting to grow were not willing to start that much seeds. Now that you have fem seeds, people are like, I'm popping 5 seeds, I'm gonna get 4 good plants. Well, I don't know. I would not invest my money in that kind of thing. But if you want some 5, 6 plant from a pack of seeds with fem seeds, it's a good avenue instead of having those old clone that
well,
won't
I don't
survive, and
know.
you are able to just ditch the plant after and harvest and not clone anything. But to me, starting
I
seeds without keeping clone to then run
mm,
those I really enjoy, it's part of what was the game to start to grow. and then you have the best of that stock of seeds that people have not germed in 10 years, whatever, and you germ them and you share it with your friend, with your best female, and then you have something else, you know, that was, I don't know, when I was younger, that's how people were doing it with first grow, like you, you may try a clone of your friend or bag seeds, and then you hunt in a, I don't know, 20, 30 seeds if you're able to have some friend that give you enough seeds to do that and get your one or two good mother. And that's what, I don't know, that's what people were doing for a while. And then when they were showing that they had something good with it, it's when the people were like, oh, I got that really good clone of Northern Light or Shiva or whatever, and they were sharing with you so that you can share your things that it's different. So maybe your friend will be able to buy an ounce of old stuff that you had in your drawer. I don't know. That's the only thing I really miss about the older market, for the variety of stuff that you don't really know what it is. But that's amazing. Your friend did a good run of that one, and yeah, it it wasn't like, because it's a big name, it was just different and it was enjoyable, and it wasn't always on the what people would see it's supposed to look like now, because that's what I've enjoyed the most about how when I started to smoke, is how different the batch were from a guy to another. When people had the juicy fruit, I've missed that kind of
Oh,
bud
I
for a
love
long
juicy
time,
fruit.
because
I
we had
miss
those
juicy fruit.
long stick of bud, not
Juicy
super
fruit was
fat,
not.
but
I
you
never
know,
grew juicy fruit, but I smoked a lot of juicy fruit. That shit
I've
was
buy some of it. It wasn't bad, man, but it
it
wasn't
was
super
good.
strong. But it was really a good,
No, but it was
enjoyable
really nice.
smoke.
It was just different to everything that was on the market at the time. So it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
really refreshing. Yeah, it was something new and different.
It was a
Yeah.
lot more sativa than anything else. And what I found funny is, like, people were growing it and were saying, "Oh, it grew more on a stick, a tiny bit tall," and or like he did not like it that, because people were trying to grow the plantlets at 2 foot and then flooring it and being like, "Dude, it finished at 5, 6 foot. What I'm doing?" It's funny because, like, when you go look at the older magazine, like 96, 2000, y- there was not
Oh
a
wow.
lot of
Hey,
those type of plants.
well here you go. Juicy fruit, also known as juicy fruit OG, is a hybrid marijuana strain made from crossing Afghan with Thai. Consumers should be cautious with strains, as effects are long lasting, double sided. Juicy fruit has been reported to cause headaches and paranoia, but is also known to spark creativity. The aroma is tangy and sweet, with notes of fruit punch, lemon, plums, pina colada, juicy fruit. THC weed reaches between 15 and 20%.
Well, I've read the Neville note on that one, and that's the old clone of Thai passing around Holland that wasn't like the best Thai ever, but it was a kind of good tasting Thai, whatever, and never had trouble to remove all the arm and all that shit. And if cross it with Northern Light, and that's the Afghani I take talk about. So juicy fruit is just a Thai with the Northern Light. But later on, when he did his last batch of hybrid, he was working more with Naval A's and another Thai from Hempi. He tried a different type, but I know that Hempy was the 78, if I remember, whatever. They all have the 78, right? Everyone think they have the same, but when I've seen the picture of it, Hempy, the kind of tie that he had, I'm pretty sure it doesn't look that much like what Coot had, but maybe it was on the same field, maybe it was not even the same region.
I
don't
I I have s- I have s- I got some 78 OG fucking some 78 OG seeds from they were just gifted to me.
Well, it's a
Like,
reproduced from that time, because otherwise, good luck to Dermot.
well, I don't think it. No, he just said it was. He just said it was that on the fucking on the sticker pack on the pack.
Because that's one of those funny thing I've heard sometime, like, oh, that thing is at whatever from that time. Most of the time, it's seeds that have been made from that, but it's not the same generation. That, yeah,
Yeah, no.
I mean, unless you're a fanatic like Coot and doing a clone and keeping
Dude,
it around
I
for
was thinking
decade
about that.
and decade.
Coots.
But it's not that often that it happened. It happened, but a lot of the time that you may not have exactly the same plant, but the plant have been bred and back crossed or whatever. But what the only thing that annoy me now with a lot of the breeder with they all have a back cross of something. Please name with what you've back crossed it. At least it give an idea to people,
Well,
because it's
I
all
think
back cross. Come on.
I do think that's fair because you know some of the genetics are still there. I think you should say what the back cross was, even if you selected towards the side
Because
you
the gene
wanted,
will be
right?
there too. You may
Yeah, there
have
will
a
still
majority
be
of the other thing. Yeah.
no matter what. Like, okay, so well, let's work out the percentage. Let's figure this out. Like, you cross two together, that's 50, and then you wipe it back with you cross it back again, you're gonna be 75% 25.
Well, it doesn't work out. Those math doesn't work out like that. It could be, but I remember reading about
And yeah,
those
obviously
background
they're gonna be
stuff, and
leaning, yeah.
yeah, one of the thing I've learned with the male is that you have some pairing and some information of generation before, and some of those are inactive,
Okay, well, I
right?
see.
And because
Yeah,
they are inactive, sometimes when the other is dominant for a trait and it cannot pair with something else that's on that line, well, you may express more of one than the other. But
okay.
it doesn't mean that it's all like, sometimes it match on one point and it will enhance that trait. But because it enhanced that trait, what else it change? Because it's with something else. And that
Well,
something else will be there forever in a way. Because you've
okay,
backcrossed with it.
okay, well, like, look, okay, and well, especially with back crossing, because you're supposed to pick something that's completely different to what you're looking for, right? So, like, if you're crossing a sativa, you would cross it to an indica, and then only select the ones and use the ones that look like sativas. But
But you may
but
have
like,
chunky flower on it.
if you did that, okay, if you did that with a dog, right? If you did that with dogs, so you're breeding Great Danes and then you cross it to a Chihuahua and then you go back to only breeding Great Danes, no matter what, you still only got a mutt. Like, it's never, you can pure it up, but you're never gonna get it. It's never gonna be purebred.
Yeah, that's when, the bison, when they were doing some tests, a lot of them have been crossed with some bull because they get more meat.
Mm.
And with the pig, the same kind of thing. They did that, and some of the people that breed the white boar, sometimes they will go for some German one. Sometimes they will go from some that are from the Russia, and they will do their own mix with it. But they will pay a lot more so that they never at least cross something that had pig gene in it. Otherwise, they won't have per meat from wild boar kind of. Yeah, but the problem that they face is that they had to ge- do the genetic testing on all of them every time they have a breeder. Let's say they start to
So
breed with that, and they were finding a lot of those guys had some in their line, some pig gene in it. And because of that, they were not able to sell to the same type of market. So it doesn't work the same kind of thing. And I find it quite more interesting because now they start to realize that if you don't let it go in your field and you try to limit them in some area, you want to stimulate the production of it. And one of the reasons why they were doing it sometimes was because let's say the royalty want to go hunt there, and it's just easier to cross with some pig and have a lot more babies really more quicker, right? So they may have done it on a goodwill, but now the breeder are really upset. They have less
right.
line to choose from.
Well, we were just talking about Northern Lights, so I decided to look up what Northern Lights was. Is it just me, or Northern Lights is Afghani crossed with Thai? So like everything good is Afghani crossed with Thai. Is that what I'm to fucking take from this? The one is Afghani crossed with Thai.
You have to ask Greg for it. And from what I understand, they had a lot of cross with different things, and it doesn't mean that those things were really pure. Mostly, if they are sativa strain, maybe they have been crossed in the field together, and who knows. Well, I think it's always like that genetic testing that some people are getting freaked. Oh, there's no longer any landrace. Well, okay, let's see.
Well,
You
I
start
disagree.
to look at the
disagree.
map.
Right now, these polyhybrids are shaping North America's current landrace because that's what it is.
But they are not adapting. That all of them are not getting
True, they're not
adapted
growing
for the
outside,
area,
so I guess they're not really. Yeah, I guess they're not a land race. I guess. Yeah.
So if you let it go for 100 years in the same spot, but okay, the only real line for that it's not a land race, but it's to me more historical importance too, is those importation of hemp or seeds from that were not from China. And I think it's 100 years ago that they had a lot of China importation, but before that was some other area more traditional for that. And some of those places, it's gone over there.
The sailors. It was the sailors. Sailors would plant pine and hemp because they could make sails, they could make ropes, they could
on different islands and stuff.
Yeah.
But they were using seeds that a lot of let's say just there's some place in the Philippines that there's nearly no one that still has grown the landrace that were used there back then, and maybe the Dutch were passing there and having really good shit. I remember reading on just before this they discovered Japan, and the hemp that they were using on one of the islands was kind of unique to that place, and it was different from what have been bring, let's say, by other sailboat, other place in the world, like in Africa, and they had really a different line. But if you look at some report of hippies, some of them may have smoked that, but it's most probably gone for most of them, and you're not sure it have been crossed with something after that because the rarity of those cultivation through time. And so there's a lot of those places that I think we cannot be sure that it's again the same thing that it have been, and one historical point or the stuff have been bring by the inhabitant of that island at that point.
I think the place to go for cannabis that everyone keeps missing is Kazakhstan. I think Kazakhstan is the place to go for cannabis. A lot of people.
Wait a minute. There's Kazakhstan. Is it Kazakhstan or another country just beside that was really one of the hot points for what we would call like the chunky Afghani? But wait, one of the country just north of Afghanistan. They eradicate completely the cultivation at one point. Like one of the king have eradicate completely the and they did some testing. The archaeologists did some testing of the pollen in the soil, and they've seen layer and layer and layer of it, and then gone since that point. And
Huh.
it's in the text of that historic region. So when they found that, they were like, "Wow, we have the paper. Those rulers have less trace of that thing, and we find it in the soil, and it's like 600 years, 500. I don't know. It's like they were Muslim, so it's maybe 500 years, something like that, 600 years ago, something. I don't remember exactly, but it's century ago. And there's no longer pollen of cannabis around in those places, and it was a bit like what's Xinjiang? Is it that region where it's more there's more Muslim in China that they were like really having
Oh,
a
no
hot
idea.
point of cultivation at one point, like in the Silk Road time. But now it's a prisoner camp and whatever, man. You don't want to be a native from those area, and being a pothead, it's a worse place to be. Like it's a bit like Singapore. I remember one of my teacher when I was in school that was saying, "Oh, she every time that she went there many times because she was finding the place really beautiful." And she said every time she went there, she always see in the news like an American or a white guy, whatever, that gonna get killed because he had like a joint or a seeds of cannabis. I don't know, like super small quantity of it, and they just kill them. It's death penalties, and I know that in Thailand they did the same thing after when the American gave some pressure, or just killing the farmer. Preserve a land rights, right? Yeah, no, I will preserve my life.
Huh. Yeah.
There's always like that challenge. I think one of the weirdest thing I've read is all those hot point like that were really famous century ago,
Yeah.
and they were like maybe having seeds or fiber, and they knew that some of the line in the same area or maybe the next region were more something you want to smoke or. Well, I've read that Indiana report and all the different thing, and they were talking about this some similar in some region from the Bengal. And Bengal, I've never heard of anyone having a line from Bengal, And one of my friend that went there said that he's
Tiger weed.
not seen that much weed there. He said maybe there was some, but when he was visiting, he wasn't going for that, and he's not seen it. But he read the same report than me, and he was like, "That that must have been a long time ago that these kind of switch out of region, whatever." And at one point, I felt came across some things that they were saying, "Oh, but it's more drier or something like the weather have changed in that region." So it's maybe why they've switched out of place to grow their crop, but they had some hotspot that cannabis doesn't grow there naturally unless you tend to, but they were using some of those spots to get the smokable flower in India instead of having the ashes. And I found it quite interesting because there's the bang that they use for like more milk infusion, but that's more with like the wild weed and stuff like that. They will use it in food and use some seeds of it, but it's more like medicinal. So it's more like that CBD stuff that people search for. I guess they were like more the older traditional version of doing it. But it seemed to be other line that people were really breeding for good stuff, whatever. And when I was listening to Frenchy and all those other guys, they seem to say that some really remote region they have different, more isolated valley, they have different stuff. But now with people that always want to share seeds, it always have been. everyone had shared seeds. But I'm pretty sure some of those places were really proud to have like the line that they produce and don't want to
Oh, that was
mix it
handed
with
down to
something
them.
else.
Yeah.
Some of them may have been a bit more like that. I don't know. I'm just guessing it because from what I've heard of people that were going in North Afghanistan and Pakistan, they were saying some of those places they had like the old man in his remote spot that grew a line and kind of clean it out a bit more for what he like in it, and he still have some diversity, but he was providing seeds in the market to some farmer, and so those farmer were kind of pimping out their field with some seeds of it, and that's that's one of the thing I was looking some video lately that of Kevin Jewelry, and you always have some region that a lot of the plant have a kind of similar dominance into it when you look from afar. When you start to look at each of those plants, they have some variation, and some of them you don't kind of match the uh, general population that you could think of. But you make seeds of that one, and he had so many male of other phenotype before that have contributed to that one that you're gonna see different stuff popping out, right? So when people are like, "Oh, I want a landrace and or a stable line," you kind of confuse both. Not exactly a super uniform line for that. It could be, but most of those lines are not. And if the line is uniform, from what I understand, it's a good
Yeah, no,
way
they'll
to
be like,
understand that it's been isolated in a small group.
yeah.
That doesn't mean it's bad. Red counting seeds tend to be. Yeah, Beckett's Shansi the man. Yeah, Shansi had some. I don't know. Last thing I've smoked from uh, Mr. Nice was the Critical Skunk, and I wasn't pleased. Well, it's just me. I don't like that. I don't like the effect. I think the plant looked nice, but no, doesn't taste good. And the effect is more kind of exhausted and you know uh, not as good than some of the more hazy strain. I think I'm more into a tiny twist of tropical stuff into it, whatever it is. How you did you still have the some of that what's that Hollyweed? Holy
Hollywood,
crap!
not
What's
me.
the
I've
Hollyweed that you had?
oh, Holyweed. Oh, Big Sir Holyweed. Yeah,
Big Sir Hollyweed.
I do still have some of that kicking around. I do have still have some of that kicking around. That is some good. That is some good stuff. That is some good weed. That is a solid line. I was very happy with that. This is as strong as anything
So
else.
do you have some phenotype that have more of that tropical flower structure, or is it more overall indica?
It looks like an indica, but like that's the thing though. Like some sativas from like if you grow Oaxacan or whatever, that's like fucking giant spears, right? It's like giant donkey dicks.
Yeah.
Like so, like so there is some of them. So I mean, I'm assuming because that's what that's supposed to Oaxacan's supposed to be in there, and
Well, this is Zicata. Is it
Zacata,
is it
yeah, is
close
it?
by Oaxaca? I don't know about the region in Mexico that much, but I know that uh,
I I couldn't tell you either.
I was looking at where like the forest and what kind of area it is, if it's more desertic or whatever. And at one point, I was trying to look at what a guy from Mexico was talking of. I was, which region he talked about, and I was going on Google Earth, and some of those spots he was like, oh, but there's a lot of cartel stuff there. I'm like, okay, I won't go there. Oh, no, 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 not there. But oh, maybe I'm not sure. I have to pass by there. There was I don't think I will go hunt over there, but it's some interesting for what he was talking about. I will let him do it. I think I don't look enough for Latino for them.
Oh, I don't know. With the long hair, you might be able to pull it off.
Yeah, I don't want to make some enemy over there.
Just hire a couple guards. She'll be fine.
Yeah. But I've known some people that went in the Chiapas and they did not had much trouble, but I don't know. I don't know. You never know, man. What will happen? You may have a super nice trip, so I don't want to scare everyone. But when they talk about the hotspot of the cartel place and whatever, I would try to avoid it. Yeah.
My problem
Like
with
if I go in
Mexico.
Thailand, I think I would ask Kanatai to give me a brief course about what to not do, where to not go, and what kind of people to avoid there. Because there's always like a kind of people you don't really suspect, but they are kind of a archetype of people that will screw you.
True that.
I was looking the other day of a video that one of those tourists that go in the Kiber area and at the Kiber market, whatever. And the guy was just at the entrance of the market, and it's not the first year he go there. So he went there another year, and he kind of got friend with the hashish seller, whatever. But the guy had nothing in his shop, and he's on 2 cell phone all the time, and like I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure that guy doesn't only deal ashes, but the guy was looking like that really friendly, super happy, joy guy, but the kind of guy that I may have been fooled by that guy and trusting him when I should not, because he was looking like really too friendly, but really cool guy. So I'm like, I don't know, man, I'm not from there, and that kind of like if you're too cool for me, I'm not sure I can trust you anymore. 'Cause I've seen a lot of those guys that they are your best friend right away, and no, he's not.
Transform real quick. No.
Yeah. When he got you alone, isolated from all your escape point. Yeah, it's a different story. Like I remember trusting some guy, and we were camping together, and we're like working at the same place, but the contract was gone, so we kind of did a party and we're splitting camp, whatever. And when I was sleeping, they got into my bag and get the most thing they were able to get and got away.
That sucks.
Yeah, that sucked because I wasn't more rich than them. I was working the same shit than them and camping in the same place, and we had no fucking money to get a rent. But we're still working, so yeah. But the funny thing is the first vaporizer that I had was one of those things they got away with. I don't remember if you remember those. The base was in wood, and it was just like a heating plate with a kind of it wasn't
With
a
the
mason
bottle on
jar,
top.
but similar
With
to
it, yeah,
mason
yeah,
jar
yeah,
screw
yeah,
on it.
yeah. I had one of those. Those were terrible. Those were trash.
Yeah,
Ah,
we
those
kind
are
of
garbage.
discovered
Throw
the
it
heating
away.
stuff with it.
It was, you know what? It got us on the right. It got us on the right road to these things, volcanoes and vaporizers. But like those ones did nothing.
Well,
The first couple hoots was good, but then it was trash.
I've
I don't know.
installed a thermometer with a switch and a tiny bit different on it. But anyway, they stole it. But what's funny is that when I've bought a heating knife for the honey, the same switch that was used, and it's really annoying because you need to heat up the knife, but then because of the honey and everything, you don't want to calcinate your honey and caramelize on it. And
Yep.
you don't want to slide that knife because when it's hot, it slices like nothing. Like it's butter. Your finger is like butter. There's just a bone to stop it. And when you slice it, it's really hard to not spill it all around. So you have to get rid of everything that been touched to. So I had some pink honey for myself at one point. It was kind of weird, but that's the worst thing I've found. And you have all that technology now and all those things, but we still have some of those Yankee things that I think been invented in the 90s or the 80s, and they still like may have AI to do your college lesson, but we still have that freaking switch when you do a home, extraction of honey. But you could buy a good thing that have like the hot water that pass in those kind of knife, but then you gonna realize that even those technology, the frame may slip. Some type of frame are not as good in it. You may want to get after. And I was like, uh, everyone that tell me about the new technology and you should do this and that, and dude, I don't have $1 million to have just nice thing to work with that are precise. And we still use some of those old technique. And I've got asked lately about something to plow your field and like plant seeds and everything. It's different attachment that you can fix on it. And I was trying to figure out like, okay, I know I've seen a kind of machinery like that, but it was on a show about the 18th century that and I've realized that in that show they've been able to order the same exact machine, because in the old magazine that they were selling it, that they've been able to look at, they had the number of the patent. So they've looked for them for their patent, and it was still people like some factory there using it in the same freaking place. Same tool was you're able to buy it now. So
Huh.
all that kind of old tools that were really working well on small surface, when you cannot afford to get a horse because you don't have enough place to graze and stuff like that, and it's expensive to get a horse also. So that's all those things. I need to have all the catalog of those kind of thing available everywhere, man, because there's more and more people that want to work a tiny bit of land, but they won't use a shovel, or get a rotocultor with, I don't know, maybe the Russian like their rotocultor because they even modify it to have a kind of a machine that they go on the road with. I don't know if you've seen that thing. It's quite cool, man. They just change the attachment and have a wheel on front, and they kind of sit on the trailer. And
Oh, I know what you're talking
yeah,
about now.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
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 you
yeah,
have
yeah, yeah,
now
yeah.
another machine also that it's more like a
Right, right.
sleigh.
Those wheeled tractors. Gotcha.
Yeah, 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 man. I found different vehicle like that. They just sit on the trailer. They have that thing on the front. But there's that one that it's a track, like it looked like a lawnmower with a track instead of wheel. And I was looking at it, and the other day, one of my friends have passed me a link of one of those with that electric, and it's quite powerful. And I was like, holy crap, I would maybe like to get it, but you need to get a couple solar panel at least that you could have a tiny bit of charge, that get back into it. Because otherwise you'll be stuck in the middle of the tundra. I don't know. Want to get back in a freaking village if I got it up north, man. Holy crap, man. It's like there's, yeah, mostly in the tundra, there's no tree, nothing. Maybe you have some rock that you can get beside if there's a lot of a big snowstorm or something like that, but you don't want to be stuck in the middle of the tundra. No, man, I would like to get one of those old tools that you can just get any attachment to it and work it out without having a motor. Uh, I'm not that good with motor stuff. I know it's quite easy, one those small motor, but
What are you gonna
you
do? Put a
know,
horse on a treadmill or something?
ah, maybe a pony on a treadmill.
Pony on a
Yeah.
treadmill would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, a mini horse, like yeah, maybe an army of mini horse would be nice, you know.
Man, I didn't realize that that Shetland ponies were like bred for mining. I like had no idea.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah, I didn't realize.
yeah.
I just thought they were just something like Chihuahua. But
It,
Chihuahuas have a fucking job too. Apparently, they
no, but
really
it's like the pygmy, right? The maybe those type of horse already adapted on an island, and they were smaller. But the pygmy were not necessarily on an island; they were like more in the jungle. But they did not had to be that tall for whatever kind of area they were, and they were maybe not eating as much
all right. I'm
different stuff.
googling
Maybe you know what I
why
mean.
are
Like
pygmies small.
I remember they were saying like the pygmy had just like different phenotype of human. Let's say that and that type of phenotype was more isolated, and that's why it's still present now. But no, that's that
There we go.
kind of isolation of a small group like that. It's crazy because sometimes you think it's in the middle of an island like Sentinel Island, but not necessarily because you don't know the geography of those places, and there may be like a, a chain of mountain. Maybe that place is really deep jungle, and people that live just in the middle of it.
Huh. One of the explanations for them being so short is a in the rainforest there's a lack of calcium,
Okay,
and yeah, so they just don't have much calcium in their diet, so they don't grow as big.
and they've just adapted to not grow as big. Okay.
Yep, and they have adapted to, and it's a heat adaptation too, heat and humidity adaptation.
Because
Apparently,
on a more shorter path than that, on some islands, some people were importing there on that they did not have there, but the region around had it, and over a dozen, 15 generation, that they are all smaller, just because of the island effect. But I found it quite interesting because, like, one of those area with the moose, some have a really high population of moose and they're really big. But
yep.
it doesn't correlate necessarily because of the fact they have a big population. It's more what was available there and how less it been disturbed for their need. Because nearby there's some moose, and even in my city once in a while we may see one. Really not that often, but there's 2 tons of there, and one of the biggest explanation to it is moose go more into more older grow, the place that have not been as much drained, that there don't mind to go in your plowed field and munch on the side of the field or whatever. They like those small wood area, and they still hang in some neighborhood. I see some cedar trees that get totally ate sometime when there's winter, that the snow is too deep, so they cannot get everything they need, and sometimes they just go in the neighborhood and munch on everything that they find out. And
Well,
what I found,
moose are browsers, so they always look for like the buds of leaves to eat during the winter. So once they're like their favorite food is like willow buds. Like so that's why like we they're commonly called swamp donkeys out here
yeah,
because they always hang out wherever the willow is, wherever the willow and the alder is. It's
it's
just
the more
yeah,
damper area. Yeah.
they eat 80% leaf and like 20% grass, where and a deer's pretty close to that too. Deer's about 60-40, and but like an elk eat like almost all grass. So yeah,
But
they're
yeah, I
cool
find it
animals.
interesting because even in my city, I've realize that like with some patch that now have been cut, but when I was younger, I knew that, let's say, the northern part, there was some everything that you've described that some moose would like.
Yeah.
When we started to live there, there was just some, maybe one or two of them passing by there, but there was not much of them. But there, they have so much of their. Sorry. Yeah, but now that they've all constructed all around the city, what I found out is that they are still displays themselves. But the moose, you no longer see them. You know, they may have been on all those more swampy area, but people that when they construct a new neighborhood, they drain everything and all that. So like the deer seem to have a bit more adaptation to human disturbance, and the moose seem to really like when it's not disturbed too much, and they have like those paths, like you said, they go in, like one place here, they have their line that they go lower of the like in the valley of the mountain, and there's some bug there, but they have like their trail that they go all around, and they go back mostly in the mountain for most of the time. But they have like their trail. I don't know how often they do all their territory, but I remember going in the same area for a while and noticing that sometimes I was just seeing them near the bug, and another time of the year they were always hanging in the mountain. But as soon that the hunting or season like were about to start, I was seeing them avoiding lower in the of the mountain because everyone was going to park there and walk up the mountain, right? So they had kind of no choice to be where they're gonna be hunt. Well, I found it quite bad for them, but it's good for the hunter. Because yeah, they were seeing that disturbance around. Holy crap! Look at those big ones.
Well, I put this up as evidence. I just
Oh,
want to
but
start.
you
I
have
want
one,
to.
and
No,
you
but I
have
want
one
to.
that's really big at the second row. It's like the wow. Just
Yeah, that's
beside the garage stuff, like on the right of the garage picture.
that's a pretty
That
big
one
cow.
is
That's a
huge.
cow too. That's a cow up too. That but this is just proof that hold on. I need this. Where to put my damn it. Let me
Oh
pull my
man, I've seen some of them right in the bug, like really going to eat the algae and the the aquatic plant, and I was finding it really funny. I was seeing few bubble. What the
see.
hell is that?
I
It was a
think
moose.
I think moose are just proof that Shrek fucked a donkey, and now that's what we have to deal with is mooses. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Maybe it's Shrek and his buddy, the donkey. Yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. Just I could be completely wrong there, but
But you know that Shrek is after a real guy, and when I've seen the picture of the guy, I was like, holy crap!
wait. There's a real person behind Shrek. What?
I'm pretty
Hold
sure
on.
if you type that kind
All
of
right.
sentence, you'll find a guy.
All right, real
The character
person.
behind, like that Shrek is after. Like, was it the guy in like a Ripley stuff or an actor? I don't remember exactly, but I've seen the picture of the guy.
Oh my
And
god.
do
Okay.
you have it?
Well, yeah, I do. Hold
Cool,
on. Let
cool, cool.
me hold on. Here we go. Boom. There we go. Can
Yeah,
you see
that's
it
the
there?
guy I'm talking about.
Oh
Look at with
yeah.
the lady on the corner. The picture, just yeah,
This one?
yeah, that one. Look how all the person. like the
Yeah,
proportion of that guy is so funny, and he have a camel toe.
that dude was bound to be a circus performer. What can I say?
But it looks so strong at the same time. Like the guy is like, I don't know, but that's the guy behind Shrek. So don't make fun too much of the cartoon. Sometimes it's after a real guy. So I don't know if you've seen the guy behind Popeye. I don't know if there's one,
Holy
but it
fuck!
may.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, when I find that kind of thing, like, oh, there's someone behind that character. Wow, I want to see that.
Who would have known? He
I
must
like
get
it.
all the ladies.
Well, yeah, why not? I've watched some wrestling, and there's some pretty ugly one in there.
Agnes Bickett says elk are cunts. He's probably
No,
he probably has a
Beckett
really
don't know
good
the
reason.
Wapiti. Tell me about the Wapiti, how fucking stupid it is, because I got a friend that had a funny story with Wapiti when he went out there.
The Wapiti. Let me tell you about the Wapiti. The Wapiti is a fierce and noble animal. I like the only
First
one
and
that.
noble? What you talking
Yeah, dude. The only one I've not been able to kill on a bow and arrow is the Wapiti. Is an elk. That's the only one that's
Because
smart
the
enough.
freaking Wapiti doesn't move when it's on the road, but it will always move otherwise.
Oh, dude, they only move by the cover of narcs. Dude, how often do you see them hit by cars? Almost never. They're so much smarter than the other ones. They're like
Well,
not even
okay,
in the same realm. It's not
I'll
even.
tell you about that
And then they
story,
never.
and it's pretty
Dude,
much similar to what you're saying. They don't get hit by a car, but it doesn't mean that your car won't be hit by them and jump on, and to the point where
the only time I've ever
the
seen
car
them hit
was
by
crap.
car. The
I'm
only
telling
time
you, the car was crap after them.
The only time I've ever seen them hit by, there's one time I'm like, oh yeah, you never see them hit by car, and I'm driving my truck down the road, and then I see like 10 of them hit. Turns out they got out of an elk farm. They weren't wild ones that got out of a farm and they got it. They were all just walking down the road.
Those were lost. Does that count?
The worst though, the worst for that are the antelope. The antelope down in the south of Alberta here. They like when there's a snowstorm, they'll just go right down the middle of the road and a semi will just come down and it will just flatten like 40, 50 of them one time. And they'll like, then you'll just see the semi off in the ditch, like fucking leaking
Yeah, it slide
radiance.
at one point, you know.
Oh man, I never seen anything like them.
Martial artists want to see if there's a guy behind Popeye. I just know that
dude.
there's a small cartoon stuff. Is it in Family Guy that
Guy
they put
behind
Popeye in real life that go see the doctor?
Oh,
I think
dude.
it's in Family Guy because man, I was fooled that like the proportion of Popeye, the guy looks sick, right? And
What?
I've seen
No,
it the other
but like
time. Like that small part.
I
was
really
on
feel like
a-
he's I disagree completely. I feel
He had a
I
stroke, man. I'm telling you,
no
he had
no
a
no
stroke.
no Popeye no Popeye is the definition of the like the strong guy, like not the strong guy from the gym, not big rippling muscles, like he can pick up a wheelbarrow, fill that shit and roll that shit. He can he pick up fucking shingles and carry them up a fucking ladder. He can do shit like that. It's a different type of strength.
Okay, but you know the guy is in the marine in the stuff, okay, and we have to just think at okay, you need to screw everything by hand, so you're gonna get more bigger forearm and stuff. Oh yeah. But it's the same time when there was some pin-up picture, and the guy had a lot of free time. Okay, so I'm not trusting everything in that story, and I think it has something to do
Fair
with it.
enough. And I would like to You know,
That
you
it's
make a good point, and so good that I have to iterate that like he was a sailor. That meant long bouts of being out at sea. So I mean, there is some truth to this. I see where you're going with this.
well, okay. So the Philly man of today is the Popeye of yesterday. Because I don't think Popeye
Hold
would have
on.
fit today. The standard are not the same. You
You're
don't
not
have
gonna.
Olive anymore.
Oh my God, you're not gonna believe this. Here we go.
Who's the guy? Who's the guy behind
Here we
Popeye?
go. Here we go. Here we go. Was Popeye was
Claim that LZ Chrysler cigar Popeye character was modeled
Frank
after Frank
Rocky
Rocky Fiegel.
Fiegel. Dude, that's
Yeah.
Popeye. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. You know, that's Popeye.
Okay. I don't know how that guy is talking, but I would
Dude, that
love
dude
to
is.
hear that.
Oh man, dude, that dude. We couldn't even hold that guy's
I want to
balls
hear
up.
that accent of sailor.
No,
What kind of
dude? You heard it already. It was in fucking Popeye. Olive oil. Give me that fire. Where's my spinach?
Yeah, and I was watching an historic show, and they were critiquing like all the Spanish event. Sorry, not the Spanish, but spinach. Oops, the spinach stuff, and they were saying like how the Dutch were just not at the right place when they advertise it, whatever, and everyone was like, "Is that like an extract of it? Because it doesn't add up. Like, I mean,
Okay,
why
so
mining
apparently,
iron when you have that much
okay,
iron in that? Well, I mean, just
apparently,
extracting from this.
apparently he didn't toss back spinach like that. Apparently he was a bartender and he liked to toss. He'd toss back the bourbons like that.
Oh, a big glass of bourbon.
Yeah, apparently Popeye liked the bourbon. That's
I hope he wasn't doing that with the Jerry Sailor rum, because it's not really good. But I tried to drink off of a 26 ounce at one point, and I've regretted, because the spice make everything disgusting when you get sick. So,
well, there we go. Popeye was based off of fucking somebody. Frank Rocky Figel. Who would have fucking known?
well,
That's pretty wild.
That is-
well, so who know with who Shrek and Popeye in real life had kids? I would like to see what they look like. We talk about recessive dominance and everything. We want to see the genetic coming back.
I
Or
got
stud.
some McCurran County Gold heirloom Oklahoma seeds, and then some Thai seeds still available. If anyone needs any, hit me up on
Oh,
Instagram.
dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
the,
lot of Thai cross and Thai. I know that you had on your post.
We're moving back west here in beginning of August, so it'll be nice. We'll have a lot more time to grow and stuff. It'll be nice. Although there's a fire
A little
pretty
better
close
climate.
to where I'm gonna be, so we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't burn down first.
You have fire
Well, they
close to
redrew
yours?
Yeah, it's like 3 miles away from where
Shit,
I'm going.
3
Not
miles,
even.
pretty close.
Yeah. We'll see.
3 miles. It's close.
It's close enough to hear the propane tank going off.
Yeah. I've seen one in a fire a couple times exploding. Like some dumbass were throwing a propane tank in it. Oh, it's empty. Let's see what it's gonna do. Well, sometimes it's not that empty.
If you ever want to make a really big fire, what you do is they make this stuff called plant wax, and you like spray it on leaves to make them shinier for like
Yeah,
offices and
yeah, yeah.
shit.
They spray it
Man,
on
that stuff,
apples, don't they?
yeah, it's kind of like an aerosolized candle wax.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you like put that shit on
Perfect.
a fire, and it'll make like this because it's like a wax that like floats up into the air, and it makes this huge column of fire. Very impressive.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I've seen that kind of thing before. Yeah, it can be a bit crazy. Yeah, one of the thing I found quite funny at one point, we had a lot of old bugs for the hive, and they wax all the inside, and that would have been in the field for like maybe 5, 10 years. So it's really, really bone dry pine with a lot of wax and propolis in it. And when it starts to catch fire, you better look at it because it go quick. And the column of fire, like we've stacked that and put a lot of broken frame in the middle and light it up. And some people were supposed to come at the party, and they just came a bit later, and they said that they've seen the fire go super high from afar, and by the time they were coming, there was not that much left, and we had some good hashes, whatever, to cook on, and like it went really quick. I think in 10 minutes everything was burned down. So like that's yeah, that was one of those really cool things. We stacked at that like maybe 15 feet high, something like that. We had at least 25 bucks, so 25 bucks stacked on top of each other. So just picture like a really big stacked hive by 5. That was really cool. I really enjoyed to put fire into them because I had to mount them and lift them so many times that at one point I was like, yeah, God, you mother. But that's one of the things that some of my friends were like, "Do you still have some of that old material? You do a really impressive campfire when you don't want to lug that much thing, and or you may have just a couple lug around, and you need something to burn it before. So you stack the big log on top of it, and you're good. Look at that dog.
Big meathead.
So what's the worst thing that dog has ate on your table?
Oh, she's not bad that way. She used to steal, but she doesn't steal anymore.
Yeah, but the worst thing, like that you
Oh,
were like,
just
holy shit,
oh,
why you
dude,
did it?
dude, it's the only thing she'll steal is chicken. Chicken. It's all about chicken, like good fried chicken. She'll steal chicken any day of the week.
I had a girlfriend that had a cane corso.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He was able, without touching a plate, to empty everything in his mouth, whatever how big it was, without having his tongue touching the plate. And we've looked at it like really closely to see. No, he wasn't even touching the plate with his tongue. He was like kind of vacuum cleaner, just I don't know, like a magnetic tongue and everything stuck on it. Uh, the, that dog was impressive because he could have bite my whole head
Oh
and
man,
get away
yeah,
with it.
yeah.
But
They're
that
they're
dog was a
amazing
bit too
dogs. Yeah.
stupid to do it. But anyway, yeah, he could have done it. That was crazy. He tried to bite me at one point, like really stupidly, and he bite me on the chest and was able like to get 2/3 of my chest in his mouth. I'm like, I don't like it.
They're
I'll take a
powerful.
smaller a smaller mouth to try to bite me. Come on. Like if just imagine if they were bigger than that before. I don't know how big they could have been in the past, but some of those war dogs were really huge. I don't know if they really describe it the right way, but from what I've seen, some of the older breed were super huge. And one of those that make me think it have been really worse before, it's a Kangal.
Yeah, yeah.
They are impressive. dog, man. They're really cool dog. They run all the way, whatever. But some of those people that are kind of a bit more gangster, whatever they want a big scary dog. I think the Kangal is not the worst, but it's one of those that you need to be able to handle that kind of dog.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like you need some skill for that. I mean, whatever you need it for, but I just hope that they can use it in a normal way without making fighting with it. Yeah, yeah, those pictures, like you see how huge they are. The Irish hound, they are big, but the Kangal are, I think they are more massive at least.
They're huge. They're huge.
Yeah, and they look a lot more pacific on those pictures that what I've seen from the documentary. First time I've seen it, they were like it's a BBC stuff from like the 70s or the 80s, and the guy go in a match
Look how
where
big that is.
yeah, that's a horse, man.
Fuck, look how big that is.
So imagine the guy that go like in Afghanistan or whatever back then in the 70s and have a fight that that the kind of polo that they grab the dead goat that have
Yeah.
and yeah, but imagine that and then you got the Kangal fight and you have like all that kind of wild stuff that now people will be, oh, it's so scary. Well, there's some area they still do it. No, man, they are so huge. Look at that one in the cage.
Jesus. That's gotta
He's
be 9 feet.
massive.
That's gotta be like 8, 9 feet tall.
Look like that.
Oh my goodness.
Look at this. He look on steroid like that. I'm pretty sure he's not. He's just like always
Can you
trying
imagine
to
that
force.
chasing your ass? Can you imagine that chasing? Hell no.
And mostly in those places, you don't have that many trees around that I've seen of. I won't be able to climb in a tree, and if I do, I will freaking die there. Like, are you just digging a hole and hoping that what you're doing?
I see related questions here. Which is stronger, a Kangal or a German Shepherd? Jesus, you had to ask that question?
A German Shepherd or Kangal? Do you really want to bet on it?
Which is more powerful? That's easy, Kangal. Which is
I think the
stronger,
Kangal is like 5 times
Kangal
more
or Cane
powerful right away.
Corso? Yeah,
Cane Corso, maybe the old Cane
Might be
Corso
close.
stuff. Well, I don't know. No, they don't have the same bite. The Cane Corso are more like they're gonna immobilize you. They could tear your head apart, but they don't.
That's where some of those German Shepherds might actually beat the Kangals is bite power.
The type of biting, I don't know for the Kangal. I don't remember exactly for that one, but I know the German Shepherd, the way that they bite, they kind of tear apart.
Yeah.
So, but they tend to go back again and again.
But dude, them Kangals are like a fucking grizzly bear, man. Look at this.
They look like grizzly for sure.
like, like, who are you even kidding?
Like
Dude.
the chain on that fence look really small.
the second he doesn't want to do what you want to do, he's not doing it. Like that's it. Like, oh, that I would love to see that fight a wolf though. That'd be pretty.
Well,
pretty
the
sweet.
old BBC stuff, I don't remember what's the name of that guy that was going in those areas, but there's some old BBC stuff that you see those Kangal, but they would not pass it on TV anymore because it's dogfight. It's like you don't want to promote it.
Kangal verse.
They are scary, man. I mean, at one point, one of my friends was like, "Why you want a Dorgo Argentino?" I'm like, "Well, it's the type of dog I really enjoy. The why it been bred and how it been bred and kind of thing. But now I would not want to get one unless I get a big land, whatever. But they're not that friendly with other type of dog. And I was like, well, uh, it would be cool to have, let's say, two dog of two different type of dog, whatever. And I don't think I could have another dog if I got a dog or Argentino. But I don't know the Kangol if they are like that. But when we had the Cane Corso, the Cane Corso was more friend with everything that is in the massive kind of type. But
No.
my other dog was more like a German black, and it's not the same type of dog at all, not same character, nothing. Like they were so different that they were just barely friend. They were too much different.
They were only friends because they lived together.
Well, they were not that friend, no. And we had to get rid of one of them. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. The Ken Corso went out because he was too stupid and not accepting me. Whatever, I don't know. He was starting to be jealous on the small one, because the small one was a freaking dog that you need to like. The hunting dog are really dependent dog, so you cannot raise it the same way. And if he wasn't seeing me, he was starting to have like a panic attack nearly. So yeah, so the Ken Corso is like he was just sleeping right in the entrance of the bedroom of my girlfriend at the time, and not moving there since till she get back of work. Not moving at all. He was maybe just moving his head up and down and stretching, and he stayed there. Same exact spot. Never been told to, but he was always protecting the spot that she passed the most time there. So you don't go there without having her being there. The dog was like, "No, that spot is her. I'm staying there." It was a really cool dog. So as long as you were not trying to go there, the dog was not even caring for you. He was barely looking at you. He was just doing his job. So I was finding it really cool for that type of things, but it's really more of a lazy dog, and it's super massive, and you need to take care of it when it's young, because let's say he jump off your bed, he may displace a hip or something like that. And I've had one of my friends having to, like, I would say the right word, it replaces dog because of it.
Yeah. That's
Sadly, he had to put him down because the dog had a trouble on his shoulder, just jumping too high, and it wasn't something you could fix without spending like 10,000 whatever. Like to have an early like a shoulder, a ceramic shoulder or something or like that, whatever. He was like, man, I got kids. First, the kids will get the money before the dog. But the breed was like, well, it wasn't like a breeding one. It wasn't like a perfect one in the line. And he was like, yeah, no, all the big dog, you need to be really careful when they grow up, because they have one point where everything is more fragile, and it's kind of sad because they are dying pretty young also. So I don't know, for that really big dog. Sometimes it's not always the most easy to get for that kind of thing. It's a bit more specific.
yeah.
But man, imagine having a Kangal in New York City. I mean, people would get away from you on the street. Like you could have a Dorgo and Tortino, and people are like, "Oh, it looked like a tall, mean pit bull, whatever." But you have one of those Kangal, and people were get so scared. I mean, it's too giant. I've seen some over here that were looking a bit less
Can you
scary
imagine
than.
how much that eats a night?
Yeah,
Like,
you better have some sheep in the field, man.
man, that's gotta eat 5 pounds of food a night at least. 10 pounds.
Oh man, 5 pound. Like I was, yeah, your dog is on a diet, But I don't know what else they feed them, but I'm pretty sure they need to feed them a lot of meat.
They
Yeah,
are
man.
huge.
Even my hunting dog when he was young, like one of the problem I've seen is the food that they give, let's say in the grocery or whatever. Most
Yeah.
of that for dog are not really super good. It's a bit
No.
like if you eat a pimped up ramen all the time, you're gonna get sick, you know.
Yeah.
And my dog wasn't eating a lot of that food, but he wanted to go back really often, and he was just gaining like more fat, but not that much muscular weight than when he was young. So I started to add a bit of more meat and different things like that. And at one point, I was like pretty much feeding nearly if not three-quarter of his food was homemade stuff, egg and different things, more protein. And my dog was loving it. And he went really more muscular, and so much that the first time I've seen a vet with him, they were saying that my dog had too much muscular mass. I was like, well, my dog go at 50 km an hour beside my bicycle, and my brake are not tolerating that speed. So I think it may explain why the dog is that muscular. He was nearly flying on his back leg, just bouncing with his back leg when he was at full speed. He wasn't touching with his front leg. Once in a while, whoop, it touched, but it was looking like a freaking T-Rex running. Like, holy crap, man, that thing is made for that. But I was finding it quite funny that other guy that were just feeding not normal food to the German blacks like that. They all had those really skinny dog, and no man, when you feed it right and have a lot of exercise with it, you see the muscle,
Just
through it. It
rippling.
looked like
Yeah.
a kind of skinny dog, but it's really ripped, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy. So I was finding it quite funny because at one point I was reading some hunting magazine of USA, and some place had like a cross of different thing, and they have a bit more massive nose with the cross that they had. Don't remember what's the dog that they were using, but some of them had even bulldog cross into their hunting dog and all that. So some of them had a head a lot more massive, and but all their dog they were saying it's not really important what's your type of dog. It's supposed to be a hunting dog or not. If you're really into that, you need to try that dog and learn how it's good at, and kind of adapt your hunting to that, or going for it if you can or already know a dog it's like that. Because my dog was good to hunt certain things on a certain way naturally, so you can teach him some order or to make it more easy, but you cannot change the dog at all. So one of the things I found funny is the cross I had was one is hunting the nose on the ground and the other one in the air. So one is tracing, So when my dog started to hunt a lot more, he wasn't sniffing as much on the ground for the first few time. And then at one point he started to learn to do it, like to follow trail on the ground. And I can tell you, I wasn't even able to know what he was following for a long time. And then whoop, at one point, I'm seeing my dog chasing something and trying to observe what he's going after to stop him if it's not something we can. But I was finding it really crazy. I was going on the side of the rail track, and all the groundhog, he was hunting that thing like he was 6 months old. He started to hunt those things. So I was finding it really cool to see it go. But at one point, my dog was starting to kind of annoy the neighbor because he wasn't eating them. he was just kind of chasing it and throwing it in the air. And sometimes it was like, I don't know, 30 feet in the air and just falling into the backyard of someone. What the hell? It's raining brown out. I've seen it a few times. The thing I had to teach the dog was to not go after the skunk. But since he was hating the cat, he was just scaring the cat because I had cats. So if there was a cat in the area, he wasn't trying to hurt the cat. He was just scaring him when they were outdoor. Indoor, he wasn't going after them at all. He was kind of, oh, I'm friendly with you. You're cool. You can even, the cat was even able to eat in the same bowl, like he was stealing some crackhead of the bowl. And my dog was just looking at it and being like, oh no, there's some stuff on the side. And he was trying to go at, and the cat was just like groaning into it. Like, I was, okay, and the dog wasn't like arguing with the cat at all. He was letting him go. But as soon as he was seeing something that looked like a cat outdoor, I had to watch him because a small skunk looked like a cat for my dog. He was like going after it. But the raccoon is the only thing I was really scared every time he was about to go out. Have you ever seen the paw of a raccoon? I
No,
mean,
I actually haven't. I've never actually really. I've
it
only
could
seen
slice your
raccoons in like.
face, man.
Yeah, I've only seen them in like zoos. I've never seen like raccoon in wild. We don't have them out here.
Oh
At least
man,
not that I know of. I've never seen
they
them.
have nail like long like that, you know. Some like really long nail, and I mean it's they can bite quite bad at also. Their teeth are quite sharp, but their nail is crazy, man. I was looking at them just climbing a tree. I don't know. They did not needed any spike to climb in, and you know they were really no. It was quite crazy. So at one point I had to kind of teach the dog to not go after them because he's good as long the raccoon is running and going to climb. But if the raccoon tried to get back on him, like defend himself, it's not a good idea. And like the what's that? How you call it? The big rat that go in the muskrat.
Yeah,
Well, I had one of my friends going to hunt the like putting some trap for beaver, and he go with his hunting dog there, and with the long lips and stuff. So he go there with his dog, and his dog was really used to everything, but at one point he see one of those muskrat and tried to attack him. The muskrat have not run away. He bite right away on the lips, and the dog died from it because they were too far to get back at home in time, to stop the bleeding or whatever. And he really chopped a large portion of the lips.
one
So
of these. Hold on. You're telling me that one of these fuckers right here killed a fucking dog?
not a beaver, a muskrat, like that one in the
That's a.
middle.
These are all muskrats.
Okay, there is one or two that look at like a beaver. Yeah, that thing.
They're all
Yeah.
muskrats. That's
And
crazy.
there
That
are
could
some of
bite a.
them that are a bit bigger, but
That could bite a
it's not a
dog.
huge beast when you look beside a German Brack. A German Brack is like maybe a, I don't know, 60, 80-pound dog max, I think. Maybe a 60-pound max. I think it would be the average of a German Brack. But it's like a running, hunting dog, it's not a massive dog.
Fair enough.
Yeah. If that thing bite your dog on the lips, it's really bad.
Like I could see a beaver like fucking up a dog, but I didn't think a
But
muskrat
I've never
could.
heard of a beaver attacking a dog.
Oh, I know a guy. I know a guy that like he was surveying, and it was like back before like GPS. It was like when we still use the total stations lots, and so he was tying in this beaver pond, And so the easiest place for him to set up and tie it all in from was right on top of this beaver den. And so, anyways, he paddles a little like inflatable boat out there, and he sets up on there, and he's on there, and he kicks the leg in, and the beaver like came out and was like chasing him across this on top of this beaver den. He was like fucking whacking it with like a paddle of a fucking for the little boat, and the little fucker wouldn't go away. He just kept
Yeah,
coming at him.
I had some beaver defending like that and stuff around because it was like going to in those areas, but the
And
they
I
are
seen this
territorial.
one.
Yeah, they are territorial for
I
sure. I've
seen this
seen it in
one
the chat.
trapped by a trapper that was 115 pounds. It's big enough to
Oh,
fucking grab it. To grab it.
115 pound. Dude,
115 pound.
that
Yeah.
that thing in the water, if it want to go on you, I don't know how it
Oh man, if it
attack or
like
whatever, but it's scary at that point, man. It's
yeah,
scary. It's so muscular. It's like, no, I don't know what it could do, but
yeah,
with
no,
the teeth,
they're strong, and that's their world. The
yeah,
like the water's
yeah.
their world. So like fuck that. No, yeah, beavers get huge and
But
fucking
the
me.
muskrat, like I've seen them in the river in the middle of the winter, and they look super chill between the ice and just swimming there, like if like a counter flow, man. It's like what the
Like
hell you're
like
doing,
every
and
other
it's like
Canadian
nothing
I
for them
see
though.
just swimming around.
Yeah, it's like it's nothing for them, but it's oh well, I don't know. It looked like a chill creature, but yeah, they don't want to be disturbed. But the beaver are a bit more like a I don't know. It doesn't look as chill beside
I
some picture
well
that
here
you may see, but when I see them in the wild, they already heard of me before, so they are on that watch. They are on the watch when I pass close by. So yeah, they sure don't have the same behavior. Now,
I don't know. It's all the tail. It's all the tail.
no,
The
but
beaver's got a
the most funny shit is when I see picture of beaver that have the tree killing them. I
oh
know
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
should not laugh
I
of that
found
thing. I'm sorry, but I
nah,
cannot. It's funny for me. Okay, I'll say that. You ain't killed by your own food, man. It's just the joke in it. It's like
I found a beaver skull that was killed by a tree. So yeah. And then the coolest thing about that was his teeth, because his teeth like were a
it's still stuck
giant,
in it.
they were still in there, and they're like a giant hook. They were like 6 inches long, and his head was only like it rolled around and came back. It was like they
Oh,
were like a shaped like a C, like and
yeah.
no, they're crazy. See if I,
Well, one of the thing I found less impressive than what it looked on the animal, and it's the bear. Their set of teeth sometimes it doesn't look that big, but when you see it in the mouth of that living one, yeah, it's more impressive. But they're not like all super huge teeth like the beaver, like it's huge. One of
kicking
those I
dude.
was looking at is like, let's say, if you look at the teeth of a fox,
No,
it's
no,
quite
on the other
pointy.
end,
I would not
look at
like to be bite by a fox. It's kind of
look up
pointy.
a muntjac. Muntjac.
How the fuck?
Muntjak. Yeah, look at the skull on that and then look at the animal and tell me if that looks like it matches.
Man, how do you spell MAN?
Muntjac. Muntjac.
Oh,
Yeah, type it right because you may go into porn and you don't want it, right? Mount Jack.
Okay.
Muntjac. Fuck, that's a weird skull.
Not sure that.
That's a fucking jackalope. What the fuck? Hold on.
Like it is like, don't get me started about rat.
That's a fucking jackalope if I ever seen one.
Oh yeah, that's like those vampires there. Oh yeah, I've seen that shit before. Chinese water there.
Oh, that freaking
He
the
got
fuck
his
out.
teeth coming out from his nose, man. It's like the cavity of the nose.
No,
It's
no,
yeah.
play a video of them feeding. They have like air sacs and like that pop in and
Yeah.
out of their head. They're fucking really bizarre, dude.
Of them feeding?
Yeah, because when you see at the skull imagery, you have like a loose
Yeah.
where the teeth is. There's all like that's weird. So we need someone with the Attenborough voice. Where Iceney? Come on, Iceney, you're in chat, man. You want to jump in? We need you as narration. I would like to have some of the word video having a narration like that. Mostly when you see like all those zombie on drugs in the big city, and I would really like to have a Attenborough version of it describing the wildlife in the city.
Huh. Why am I getting just fucking regular old deers? I need the fucking weird ones.
You ask the AI to have the word as there, and I don't know it will look like that.
Okay. How am I gonna make it? I can hear it. Guarantee.
You have the sound on your speaker if you want to, sure.
Yeah, how do I fucking? There was a way to do that. That's
Yeah, I
how.
know it's in the when you share a video, it's like you need to I don't know, it's an option in share video if I remember. I remember looking at that part. Advanced sharing option, I guess it's in it if you want to share the sign with it, but I don't know if it's gonna
Got
be
it.
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah.
There, let me do it. And turn sharing on.
Oh, did I not turn it on for everybody? Sorry, not bad.
I've touched nothing.
All right, you should be good to go.
Oh, okay, I say he's fading, it's 6 a.m. You you've not sleep, but you went on how many show tonight?
See? Look at that shit.
That's crazy.
How weird is that?
That's
Like
weird.
a fucking alien.
Yeah, it's
And their skull looks like some kind of evil demon deer. They're fucking like one of the coolest animals.
Somebody pointed out to me that like all the big cats in the cat family don't have slit eyes like house cats. Don't slit pupils like house cats. That there's some alien hybrid is what they.
so the cats are an hybrid of alien because of the
Well,
Egyptian.
it's extremely weird that none of the big cats that they you would assume they would have evolved from one of the big cats, right?
But no, but it makes sense since it's not a big cat. So the smaller
Yeah.
cat may had that trait that the big cat did not needed that, and how
I'm going
close
with
they are
them, and
related
foxes
doesn't
are
mean that the
alien
phenotype.
hybrids. They're alien
Yeah.
hybrids.
I'm gonna take off. It's getting a bit late and I gotta be up in the morning. So take it easy,
Alright.
dudes. It was fun.
Right on,
I'll
man.
be on a
Take
lot
it
more, especially after the move in the beginning of August. It'll be a lot easier because I'll have an actual office again where I can like get everything all set up, and then it'll be nice.
Awesome, man. Look forward to it.
All right, take it easy.
Later.
Have a good night, man.
I don't know.
Agnes said nap time, hair, worst screech ever heard, but put it out no arm without trying to scratch. What?
Yeah, they make it, but it's not that bad of a sound. It's there's definitely they're different, but they're kind of between a deer and a moose, if you ask me.
Okay. Well, a moose is one of those animals that every time I had one in the wild close by, I wanted to get out of that place like quickly.
Oh man, you know what I seen this week? I seen the
Honestly,
most
like it look really peaceful when you don't
oh yeah,
disturb
dude.
them. But if
There's
you're on
nothing
their path, get the fuck out of there.
there's nothing scarier in the bush than a fucking cow moose with a calf. There is
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
I would rather face a grizzly bear any day of the fucking week. And last week we bumped into one, and like my dog right now is not the brightest for at work. She does well, but um she didn't see the moose luckily because she would have chased it. My old dog, she could stop her immediately, but yeah.
Well, if the moose is like, oh, okay, I get out, okay, that way, whatever, it's not that bad. But
Oh
sometimes they
no,
are just kind of insulted that there's anything
you're
on their
you're
path
there. Yep.
disturbing them.
And they'll just chase you down and trample you down. Like and they are relentless until they feel that their calf is a safe distance away from you. Like you like need to be like ducking and weaving behind trees because she will be relentless trying to get you. I swear there's nothing worse out. There's nothing worse in the bushes. So they're so big and they're so stupid like that yeah, I don't know. They're
Yeah,
the one.
yeah.
They're literally the only thing that I sweat because
Yeah, we
they're
got
just
black bear
unpredictable.
here. So the black bear, yeah, I mean, for the hive, they are really annoying. But
I bet
most of the time, they are like not a trouble.
if you
Like
make a bunch of
just
noise,
don't
they
leave
just run
food
away.
around, you know?
Yeah, yeah. You don't leave food around, and you make a bunch of noise. Black bear run away.
Yeah.
And grizzly bear, they don't like they're around, but they don't come around you. They don't want to have. They don't want to fucking. They know. They don't things don't go
Well,
well when they interact with humans.
well, I
So
heard
they
about the grizzlies. Mostly, like, let's say, if you know they like to feed on that spot, and you go at that spot,
well
yeah,
grizzlies
they
don't like
may want to chase you, like to so that you
okay,
don't
well
annoy
like
them, but they don't
no
necessarily gonna attack you.
grizzlies will get really territorial of their food areas because like what a
Yeah.
grizzly will do is grizzly will kill something and then he'll sit on it. He'll let it start rotting and then he'll start eating it.
So
And
you
then
don't
he
know
gets
if you've already.
yeah, so he'll get real territorial of an area when he's storing down food in it and that stuff. But Uh, other than that, they've like such a good nose on them that they usually don't get in your way too much. They usually fuck off. If you're making a decent amount of noise, the only time you're ever gonna bump into a bear basically is when you're going straight upwind. Because otherwise their nose is so good and they're so good at like predicting you. Now, mind you, black bear are just dumb and curious, so every now and then one of them will just come to see what's going on. Right. So like, and
Man, it's funny.
they'll be
In
closer
the
than you think.
woods, moose are scary, like you said. Bear, more or less. I mean, it's not the main concern, even if some may. At least I don't know. Most of the time, they are not a big concern for that. But one of the things I found quite funny is when you start to garden in the wood, slug, rabbit, dog.
Slugs and rabbits are the two.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
like I was starting like to just make a list of things and like we're like, oh, do you want to plant in that type of place? Because you may want to kind of, let's say, a bug area, and you may want to elevate your stuff from the bug because it will stay damp all the time otherwise, and it won't be good and whatever. But you may not want also to go there for most of the summer because there's gonna be so much fucking mosquito and flies that you don't want to stand there. So, so there's always different reasons why. nobody want to go there. And when I was going up north with or going fishing and stuff like that, there was so many of those small black fly. I don't know if you have a lot of them in
Mm.
your area, but the really small black fly that go everything in your clothes. We don't have them down south as much. Some spot maybe a little woody, but not as much. And up north, man, they were the most annoying shit around.
Just the ones that land on you and like they don't bite you, but they
They
just
don't
land on
seem
you.
to, but you're gonna scratch
They
everywhere
will,
and have bite everywhere.
yeah, they come when you, no, no, exactly. You scratch on a branch and they like come to the cut. Like, yeah, I know which ones you're talking about. Those are the black flies here. Yeah,
Because when I was going
those
to
are
fish
so
here,
annoying.
one of those that I remember that I went crazy. They were yellow, like a bit like a house fly, the black house fly, let's say, but they were yellow, and they were like getting us crazy in middays, and we're like enjoying the mosquito beside those yellow fly. Honestly, we're really getting so crazy with it that like my dog, his head was bumping everywhere because of them, because they kind of lay on his head, and at one point the dog
Mm.
start to do nothing because he's tired and you're exhausted of trying to chase them all day long, and he had bump on the head so crazy, and the girl I was with have been bite really more than me, and she had those bump for weeks after, like mark it everywhere. Like if you think it's a good idea to not wear any cloth protective and think, oh yeah, I'll just use those spray. No man, those one are so bad. Like the mini fly and those yellow one are two that make me want to get a netting everywhere that with some rubber band at your, because
Yeah,
I
you
think you
know, you
need
don't.
some screened underwear, something like that. A bee suit in the in the forest would be what I use for because of those. My friend had like a jacket with the no the like the hood, and he came at my hive with it. I was looking at it, dude. We don't have it sold over here. He's like, yeah, up north I had to order it at one point, but like they had some in the shop. But if you want a specific size or a better brand, maybe whatever, you had to order it. But it's one of those things, dude, you need it if you can.
Oh, I don't know, man. I can't wear those fly screens, bro. They're just too hot when it's like plus 30. I can't do it. So I just
You cannot breathe it
off,
then?
off.
Yeah.
I can't. I get too claustrophobic in them, and then you can't see what you're doing. I'm like
Yeah,
trying to
you
look
see
read
that can.
screens and fucking do my job, and I'm just like fuck this shit, and I just yeah.
Yeah, that's one of
You
those things I
apply the
found really
DEET
annoying.
everywhere. Just lay the DEET on as thick as you can, and fucking just deal with the skin cancer in 20 years.
Yeah, with the teeth, I don't know if the concentration that we have in the spray, how bad it could be, but I just remember that there are a lot of my food had an aftertaste of DEET once in a while. Um, yeah.
Delicious stuff.
Oh
Delicious
yeah,
stuff.
I remember the taste. Yeah, really good.
Fabulous. Fabulous.
Um, I don't know. There's always a thingy. Yeah, and I think they call it the fisherman spice. Uh. It's not that bad, but I don't think it's good to eat. No, they should add some flavor to it so it tastes better. I don't know. I had so much on my finger. My friend was like, "Why you've not bring some already rolled cigarette?" I was like, "Dude, since I've tasted and yeah." So I started to wear some glove so I can remove the glove when I roll a cigarette and doesn't have that taste on my freaking paper. Disgusting. Smoking some deed. Look, I guess it can taste better than mosquito when you
Look,
smoke it.
I'm not gonna lie. There's been a lot of doobies that have had a lot of DEET in them over the years. I'm not.
Yeah.
I've tasted the DEET terp many a time.
Yeah, maybe you better roll them before you go, but yeah. You pass a couple of weeks there, I don't think you're gonna roll everything before. Yeah, I was going away for like a week at the time, so no, I won't roll everything or whatever. But the date on my finger was so disgusting. Yeah, I mean, one of those things was I prefer to have that taste than having all those bump on my head and everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh man, scratching all day long, like trying to avoid them. It's just crazy because every time you're like, oh, it's super hot, I will go under the tree, and they're all there. And at one point, we're like on a small stream with the canoe, and we every time that we're slowing down, we had a cloud of those yellow fly in middle of the day coming on us, and we're like, let's say at night stopping somewhere, and like we're seeing mosquito, and I was like, I don't mind mosquito. I can get a ton of them. The only thing that annoy me, it's the noise.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I got one nearby.
Just one in your room can ruin your night. Just.
But I found one even more annoying than that. It's those blue fly. Like, let's you go camp a bit close by to a farm or something like that, or maybe a dead animal somewhere, and you get those blue fly. And those blue fly, they don't sleep. They really don't sleep, and they bounce everywhere in your room. And you heard that one to talk. What the fuck the fly is doing? It's just going in the wall like if there was nothing there. I was finding it like, okay, you you kind of a clown of a fly. You're blue. You're bouncing all the way for all night, and you're coming out of freaking shit. Please don't touch me. Please don't touch me. Oh, but that's really annoying because it was like I don't know if you already had it, but I think it's the. Is it the same than the butt fly? There are big fly that they can lay in
Mm.
your skin, and I had some of them in my back shoulder when I was going deep in the wood or stuff like that.
Oh no, I never heard of that.
But
No.
you don't have it like more close by the city, whatever. Or even if you go in a small town, it's really more deep in the wood that you have those bigger fly, and they lay in your skin, bit like a butt fly. I don't know if it's the same exactly, but when they get in, like you don't feel it too much. You're like, oh, it's just a bit sensible. And at one point, it got really larger area that's kind of pinkish, whatever, and white in the middle, but it's really bigger than it's normally gonna do. And I remember at one point I had one for a while, and it was really painful, but it was too deep, so we were not able to see anything. And at one point, they want to come out, and I know the butterfly they have to kind of grab them with tweezers or whatever, but that one we had to kind of squeeze it out slowly. But you hope that it doesn't get at the wrong spot and make some infection or whatever. But it's the most stinky stuff that have been on me, man.
Sounds fucking
When it
terrible.
get out, it stink, and there was a hole like the the tip of that thing. I don't know if you can see it there.
Yeah, yeah.
Or whatever. That tip of it, it was exactly big like that round tip, like that.
Dang.
It was a bit deeper than the small spoon there. Like it was maybe deep like that in my back shoulder. And I had it a couple of times when I was going deep like that. But that, oh, man, it's painful for a while. But I was reading a bit
Oh,
on different
crazy.
stuff like that, and there's just a specific type of
Ugh.
fly over here that do it. So I don't know, remember what's the name of it, but it's the butt fly. It's the only thing that I know it's similar to that, and they lay on your skin, man, in your skin. Okay, that's
That,
the butt fly,
that makes me
but
want to go
that's not
fucking.
what I had. It's similar to that.
God damn.
Yeah, it's really painful
Look at
stuff when
that.
it get out. Oh, but
bro.
she had it on her lips, man. Ouch.
Wow.
She must. Oh man, that's really
Dude, those
painful on
are,
the
oh
lips.
man, dude, those what the fuck?
It looked like
That's it. Like
a
in look at this
bee's,
one.
man.
Look at
Early.
this one of this dude's head, bro.
Ah, that's a huge one.
Oh man.
Okay, so that's the butt fly, but the other one that we have in Canada that man, it's not exactly like that. But the butt fly are more disgusting than the one I had. But you see, they lay their freaking egg in the part of your skin, so you don't really feel it till a lot later on when it start to be bigger.
Oh man, what? Oh fuck, dude. I didn't even know
And
this shit
and
existed. This is
it got
disgusting.
nothing
This
to
is a
do with
fucking
aging or whatever. You know, you
oh,
can take your
oh
shower 5 times a day and get out and have that thing lay on you.
dude, I
It
got the
got nothing to
heebie-jeebies
do.
just fucking thinking about these fucking things. Look at these fucking creepy little fucking aliens.
Yeah, yeah, that's the larva on you. Yeah,
Oh no. No, hell no. Hell no. Uh-uh.
man, everywhere. I'm gonna scratch myself everywhere now.
Okay, let's get that off my fucking screen. Fuck.
Yeah, but if you look at like some type of dare fly, like what lay on I know it's like on the moose or the dare that they lay on it, but yeah, there's a similar type of fly that do that on here. It's just not as disgusting as that one, the butt
I'm
fly.
excited for that to happen to me.
Oh, you never had it, man. I'm
No,
surprised
fuck
because
no.
you are
I'm
always in that
outside.
type of
I'm
place,
outside
man.
all day, dude. All
It may be
day.
more out east, man. It may be more over
Well, you
here.
guys can fucking keep that shit. You
Yeah,
know
we're
what?
gonna keep it for ourselves.
You don't need to fucking share that shit. You guys keep that.
Yeah, it's not like herpes. You don't
Dude.
want to share it.
Okay. You know what? Now I'm complete. Now I have to fucking research their range. Jesus Christ. What have you done? Uh,
No, but why don't you look at the moose fly or dart fly or something like that? I'm pretty sure you're gonna find that type of fly it's maybe similar. Because every type of fly have a place where they want to annoy the bees, right? And I was looking at one point on all the fly that there is on the farm, and you can recognize because where they hang out on the animal. Some are on the legs, some are at the ass, some are at the head, you know. Man, that kind of thing.
yeah, it's in southern Canada. It's not in northern Canada. That's
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So it's just where a freaking hangout, man. It's
Yeah,
cool.
it's most common butt flies. But I'm not even gonna try the fucking scientific name. Reported to occur mostly in continental US, except Alaska, plus southern Canada and northeastern Mexico. Adults of are large and robust, reaching 15 to 17 millimeters. You know what? Just fucking kill them all. If you see them, kill them. I think we should bring back DDT. Fuck.
Ice News says crew worm, the
Oh,
parasitic fly are sometimes called tumbu, fly
oh,
mango, fly maggot, fly butt. Yeah, the butt fly. Yeah, I guess in this similar type of fly that that like yeah, if you think a mosquito is annoying, you don't know about those things
wow.
in the wild, man. Mosquito, it look annoying, but it's not the worst. I
Yeah,
will
no,
take
not till you
20
gotta pull
mosquito
one of
before
the.
I get one of those butt fly on me, man. Come
What the
on.
fuck's a warp fly?
A worm fly?
Oh, it's also known as a warble fly. Disgusting.
Yeah, that type of fly go on your on your cows or whatever. If I'm like I know that there's some fly in US. Yeah, it may be the butt fly that they do some hole in the skin of the cow and remove some value of the leather, let's say.
I'd imagine.
Yeah, yeah. I was buying a bit of leather at one point, and that's one of the things that sometimes I had it cheaper because there was hole everywhere because of those fly. I was doing those bracelet and collar and stuff like that, or making some
Well,
some
that's
patch on.
cool. But the fucking goddamn botfly's got to go. The thing's not welcome here.
No, man. No, man. Really, it's like that type of thing that you think it's gonna be only the animal or whatever that got it, but when you start to go in those areas, you
Yeah, I
gonna get one
suppose.
of those that they lay on.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's inevitable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I
Just
had some date
another
with me,
reason to stay.
but because you're sweating a lot on your shoulder,
Oh yeah.
the date wash off quicker.
Fairly quickly, and yep. Yeah, no, and they find holes, and they find
The
you miss
farthest
one
spot.
little spot. They'll find any hole.
Because every night I was watching for tick for me and my dog, and like
Mm.
even my girlfriend was looking at my back and stuff like that. And at one point I go with one of my friend, we go fishing, and like late at night I start to look before the sun come down, and he's like, "Dude, what you doing in boxer, looking everywhere on your body?" And it's like, "Dude, I'm looking for tick," and he's like, "Oh, well, that's weird." I'm like, "Well, you should look at it." And he
Yeah.
started to look where his socks were at his boot, and everywhere where he had the rubber band, he had like 4 or 5 tick just hanging there, not on him, but they were like maybe just waiting to
Mm.
go on him. He was like, "Oh," and I've kind of helped him to, just put his clothes differently so that they don't come in. I'm like, yeah, you start to to know that like the nerds that have their socks over their pants, maybe they were used to go hide in the woods from the the jocks or whatever because they knew about that tricks. You get your socks over your pants, and it's a good idea. So they got less space to go in. Well, man, that's one of those small things that you don't think at. But okay, the black fly, if you don't wear the screen, you must have your face covered in small bump at one point. No?
No, because the black flies don't do much other than just go to a existing wound. So they'll go to a scratch on your face, not something. But they're just annoying. They just never stop. So you just swat yourself and hate
Yeah, they
yourself.
were always beside my eyes, and I was like, oh man, that's why I had some DEET in my eyes sometimes. Oh, it's really annoying. What's Beckett's ex-wife was Scottish special at weekend festival Mussy. Her feet were fucked up for 2 weeks. But she did. I don't get that one. Okay, so Isney was saying like the dare fly and Lua Lua worm, the worm-like Onkinacera volvulus parasite is passed to a new host through the bite of an infected black fly. Are you saying that
Dang.
I have a parasite now? Damn it.
Ugh.
We had some, man. I've been bite by tick many times, but the ticks, what's annoying, it's always the last spot that you look at.
Mm,
It's there.
that's always.
Yeah, if it's not at your ankle, whatever, at your feet, maybe it's yeah. Look at the dark spot,
Yeah.
probably over there. So, yeah, I mean, I was getting paranoid because of the Lyme disease at one point. But the Lyme disease, it's not necessarily that common that you may have it, and it's a type of tick that have it more. So I don't remember exactly the type of, but you can look in your area that there's some type of tick that are more prone to it than other. But every place where a deer or a moose have passed, there's
Yeah.
some tick
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Like my dog was going in the long grass to go hunt, and he had some climbing on him just passing one time into there. So, like they just wait on the grass so that an animal pass by, and they
Yeah.
just grab him. It's just disgusting. But there's so many of them now that the climate is a bit warmer for a longer time. But it, wa- the rage for the raccoon, it's one of those that I was looking for they try to fight the rage in the how they call it rage. It's a rabby when they have all the foam in the mouth and they want to
Oh,
bite
rabbit.
everything.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But
Rabbit. They have rabies. Yeah.
sometimes like they will kind of vaccinate a small pocket and try to poison a lot of them around that small pocket. So they reduce the infection like that. And when I start, because I was talking with some that were doing that kind of thing at one point, it was like, why the hell you guys are vaccinating like that? Because I found some of your patties that you lay around in the area, just outside of it. They were explaining exactly like, yeah, we kind of have to launch some by plane, whatever, and then we go on one spot and try to capture the most of them there, vaccinate them, or give them some kind of a lure with some antidote, whatever in it. But the raccoon are like they repopulate quite easily.
Yeah.
So that small spot that been vaccinated can have more sane, healthy one that get around. But when I've seen the nature of things that they were talking about the raccoon in the big city getting hyper intelligent but obese and have the same disease than the human had.
That's
The same.
sad, but I totally believe it. I
But they
mean,
get more
they're eating
smart.
the same fucking garbage. So what do you expect?
But with the human, we get more dumb and we have those disease.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm wrong, maybe, but I think when you're in bigger city, you cannot use the same type of skill, and it doesn't mean that genetically you're dumb, but you don't have learned the same type of skill that in nature. But maybe if you're a good education or whatever, maybe you could be using
Look,
all your
if
brain.
you're
But I
if
think
you're
it's not
you're
everyone.
when you're problem solving how to open every kind of fucking trash can every day,
Yeah,
yeah, like
and they learn
you're
all the
gonna get,
habit and
yeah, exactly. No, and they know what day to go flip your garbage, and they know, yeah, no,
so like you put a fence and they're like, hmm, oh, can go around. I found it really funny to see some of those camera that filmed the raccoon for in that documentary of Nature of Thing, because you're seeing some of them that are looking quite obese, but they're still able to do everything to go in your backyard and still the leftover of your barbecue, whatever they know how to do it. They will go around. At one point, I was working in a factory that were extracting krill oil, and there was a raccoon in the garbage that had a bit of acetone left over in the krill, but like most of it have been like kind of sucked out of it, but it still smell it. But the fun part is that the factory was studying to feed it to pigs because there's a lot of protein in it. They just extract the oil, in fact. And I was looking at the raccoon in the garbage when he was there, and I was just emptying the bag there. I was like, dude, you're so big and fat that I hope you're able to get out of that thing because you're gonna be trapped and get crushed in the But no, I was seeing him again the next week, and I was like, I don't know how you freaking do your things, because when I see you trying to escape, you seem
He
pretty
knocked
dumb and
over
too
that
fat.
whole can and like spread that garbage far and wide. That
But
poor bastard was cleaning up all next morning.
man, honestly, I was putting a big, huge, like industrial bag of that, like two, three of them maybe, and I was sometimes seeing one of them completely empty out completely, and he had ate every freaking single bit of that was in there, like not the towel, not just the krill bite, and he was really huge and obese, and I don't know how he was able to eat it with the acetone smell. I mean, he may have been used to it at one point. I don't know, or maybe he had some fume of it and was finding it really funny to spend some time in the garbage can, and maybe once he had a small buzz, was having a munchies on the krill. I'm not sure, because this was to me looking really suspicious that he was looking well fed with that acetone smell in the garbage. You were noticing that not enough to catch fire, but really noticeable smell. So I'm pretty sure that if a raccoon can be that well fed with it,
Oh, it'll be
imagine, man,
after
you feed your dog or whatever with it. Oh, he lack of protein, and you feed him, and he's gonna be
it'll
Yokozuna.
be raccoons and ravens after the next World War. That'll be it.
Cockroach all around. Man,
Yeah,
that's
cockroaches too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
y-
no,
if you look at the cockroach and the wasp, for Umber, they are in the same branch.
dude,
The big branch
cockroach
of bees,
cockroaches are
cockroach,
wild.
wasp, ants. They are all in the same big family. They are different sub branch of it, but they're in the same. They are social. Not all of their uh, type, whatever, are that social, but all of that big family tend to have some that are really social and have big colony like that. So I'm
Well,
pretty sure that
I
they
don't know
will
how
survive.
fucking social they are because I don't fucking really hang out with cockroaches. I try to kill them bitches as soon as I see them.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
usually
I
see
did
them
not
when
had
I'm out of the
a talk with.
tropics, but like, uh, man, uh,
But don't you know that they put some precious stone on some cockroach and stuff like that, and some rich have cockroach pet with those diamond and emerald and whatever on
fuck
it.
that. Nobody keeps
I
cockroach pets.
swear, I
What?
swear,
Fuck
man.
that shit. I'd call bullshit on
A
this one.
cockroach with diamond on it, man. I'm
Oh,
sure
what?
you find it right away. I know it's disgusting, and I did not know some people may want to do it, but it's really a
Dude,
thing.
I've heard about people keeping like Madagascar hissing roaches and shit like as pets.
Yeah, because it's kind of big, disgusting, exotic shit. But Madagascar one are so huge, and I'm pretty sure it may be one of them that they use for that, because you can put
How do
more
you even
stone on it.
Google search this? Blinged out fucking cockroach.
Cockroach, diamond on cockroach, uh, fancy insect pets. I don't know, maybe not. Luxurious. I don't know, man. How you freaking type that kind of? How I found it? That's the question.
Ah,
Why I've came
uh,
across that kind of
look at
thing?
this. Look at this. Cockroach pendant. Oh wow, there
Cockroach
is.
pendant. It's one of those. I know that sometimes they do replica with it. I'm not sure why they find it really amusing for it, but
Uh yeah, you're a fucking witch or
Scarabee
something.
beetle.
I don't fucking
Someone
know.
in the
Like
chat say Scarabee beetle. That's Scarabee beetle. I've seen it as a kind of luxurious version that they take a foil of gold, or even some of those are really having interesting color. Well, I'm pretty sure I can find you
what's crazy is
something.
you can take a cockroach, right? You can take a cockroach and you can put it into a fucking like a mayonnaise bottle, right? And you can leave it, and you can just leave it, and he will stay in there. He will drink his excrement, and he will shed his exoskeleton and get smaller and smaller and smaller, and he'll eat his exoskeleton to survive, and he will survive for months. I don't know how long he'll survive for, but
But
it's like,
only if the bacteria in their guts, they can digest that for a long time. Just that. Like for, I think it's up
dude,
to
like
a couple of weeks, just that. Like digesting what
dude, they can shed
the
their
bacteria.
skin, eat their skin, and live off their skin. They can live for fucking months in a jar with nothing, no water, no nut, just everything that's in there with them is in there with them. They're disgusting, and that's why they'll be here long after us.
In Google, there's one of the research that it's beautiful cockroach species. I don't know who want to know that, but I don't even want to look at it. I want to see
Uh,
those cockroach with those precious stone.
I just want to know who is like, oh no, I need a cockroach pendant. Like that's what I want.
So I know that there's some replica with it, but I know there's really people that use them as. Yeah, okay. I've just no, it's not the same thing.
I don't know, dude. It's like cockroach races, I could see that, but I taking my cockroach out on Diamond Leash. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not sure if I found the right thing, but this is Cadif Caddis fly larva construct elaborate case out of gold, ruby, and other precious stone. No, okay, but that insect when you leave it with some precious stone to do the thing. Oh, okay, I could show the. Look at that one. It's not a cockroach, but they
Oh
say.
right, all right. Those are some sort of what are they?
Well, I need to go on
I
the
seen
right
that. This
page.
kid, yeah, they usually make their cocoons out of sand or whatever, and they just the only
There are
thing
some of
available.
the best architect in the insect world or member of Trichoptera, which mean they are closely relative to butterfly. Ah, but they construct their
Yeah, that's what they
back,
usually use.
whatever, with anything
Usually
that they
use
get
sticks
given.
and rocks, but then shells. But no, see, apparently, if you leave fucking gold around them, they'll do it gold
Yeah,
and
gold
diamond.
flake beads. Yeah, some of them look fancy like that. But yeah, those look. It's not what I meant.
Meh.
I know.
It's
That's not.
not quite the masterpiece I thought it was gonna be.
No. It's not. It's not what I was thinking of. But at least I found one that do it by itself, so I could say, "Hey, buddy, good effort." Uh, don't no, you don't say good buddy to a bug, but whatever. If you start to do that, dude, you smoke too much tonight.
Oh Lord.
No, but that thing of like having bugs as a precious stone, I'm not exactly sure if it's like a challenge for the guy or like who really. I want a black fly as a precious stone.
Dude's like, all right, look, she asked for 50 diamonds in it. I need you to make it into a cockroach.
It's like,
She's
yeah, make me the cockroach that look the most luxurious possible. It's like, What?
Yes, the finest roach.
I want. Like, I mean, that's like that Google search, like the most beautiful cockroach. I'm sorry, maybe if it gets some nice color, I don't know, but there's a lot of type of beetle that have really nice color. Uh, but like the blue fly look really nice for the color. But it's the most annoying one I had in my bedroom. I mean, I don't know. Those bugs are really nice on pictures sometimes, but when you start to look at what they're really doing, man, honestly, it's the most scary stuff I've found is the insect world. There's nothing more scary than the insect world. If I was on that side, the life is hard for them. The most
Life is
scary
short,
stuff. Short, hard,
harsh. Yeah.
and you be one of the thing I've heard lately is people were saying, "Oh, have you guys noticed how less fly on your windshield you have?" I was like, "That's funny, because when I was kids, it was a lot more fly in our windshield."
Man,
And
I have noticed no decline in flies in my
you've not,
windshield.
right?
Not
Okay,
in
there,
mine.
because the spot where you are, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
here, since all the city are joining each other, we don't see it as much, and we use it too, because there was some woody area between, and now they've just construct all along that place, so there is not as much. And there, all the insecticide that they've used on their current field and all that, it affect also the other type of insect, all the butterfly, everything. But I'm pretty sure we could find some fancy bugs, man, that we would never dare to think it exists. I mean,
Oh, yeah. No doubt. No doubt. Yeah, no. That truly there's probably so many things we don't even know about the insect kingdom.
I always find it cool when I see some of those beetle type that, depending on the temperature that they hatch or something like that, that's why they got different color. So some year they may have more of some type of color, some years not, and it doesn't seem to affect like their survival itself. But yeah, man, all the insect made into precious stone, no, it's not that bad. The beetle or the butterfly, it can look okay, but I mean, some of those beetle are just collecting
I don't
shit
know. I
in
gotta.
the desert,
I'm gonna
so
be
I don't
honest. I gotta
think.
question you if you buy the cockroach for your girl. Like, what are you trying to imply?
Yeah, you gonna survive me? That's a message you give her?
Well, statistically, that happens anyway. So,
Or maybe you try to say that even if you remove the head, she will still move and there are things. It's not really like, I would not feel safe with it.
don't take this the wrong way, but I think you could survive a nuclear holocaust, baby.
Like, yeah, I mean, I hope it's not the kind of emblem of your marriage, a cockroach, because it's really scary. Or a dung beetle, if you have a dung beetle, precious stone, I'm questioning your sanity, but why not the ant? I mean, is an ant is not pretty enough? On a close up, an ant to me it's really scary.
I don't know. You ruined my whole day with those fucking butt flies. Now I'm just paranoid about fucking butt flies.
Yeah, it's not butt, it's butt.
Whatever. No, it's butt.
If you got a
Trust me,
butt
it's
fly in your
butt.
butt,
It's a butt
man,
fly. Some could say
yeah,
bot,
it's a
bot
it's
fly,
a
but
triple T.
that's lame. Everyone knows it's a butt fly.
It's a butt with a triple T, man.
Triple T. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, triple T.
That's the common way to call it. I got a triple T in my. Uh, uh, is there any other bugs that you would be scared to have in the wild where you hang out?
Oh, dude, yeah, dude, absolutely, absolutely. Those
I've
giant
thought about
Asian,
my most scary
those
one
the
here.
those giant Asian hornets that are invading BC right now. Those are fucking those look formidable. Have
They
you
are
seen those?
mean. Man,
Those look
I follow a guy in south
yeah.
of France that he removed the nest of it,
Oh
and
no.
his equipment look more like an astronaut because you need to have like
Oh, dude, like
a
yeah, no,
real
you're going to a
fence
real
on your
fight.
front. Like you don't want just a normal screen to go flat on your face once in a while when you're just moving, and they're gonna get you bad, man. And they can tear apart that screen super quickly. Have you seen how their their mouthpiece are like their mandible are strong? They can. One of the things they'd like to do on the side of the hive is they go in front or at the entrance and they just chop their head when they poke out. They just chop it.
That's crazy.
Look at when it go on.
Murder hornets. Dirty fucking bastards. All right, well.
Yeah, but that hornet with gray hair wasn't that scary at the end.
No, that was not very imposing. You're right.
It's
You're right.
Santa Hornet. Um, yeah, but the hornet in Europe they are a bit more. But there's some wasp that looks scary. But the hornet, it's like I don't know, like the bulk of the hornet, like they are really strong for an insect, like really intense.
Dude, yeah, okay, here's three of them here. But you're gonna be getting hit by fucking 50 of those bitches. Like those are
Yeah,
monsters.
yeah, okay, but those are quite big, okay. But when you have a nest, those are not the oldest one. Those are like mid-size. Oh, yeah, that one seems a bit bigger. Yeah, look at the face of it.
Yeah, there's so many of them.
That thing, when you see it on close up like that, it's crazy.
Dude, those things fuck you up.
Yeah, they came because of some boat had some nest on it, and they've not noticed it before they go to the port. So that in lumber or whatever, sometimes they may hatch there. But those one when they go into a colony, they just kill it, and they will go and empty the hive and maybe lay there, but they will kill all the bees, man.
That's crazy. They're
They may come
monsters.
back once in a while and remove part of it, because when you think a bird will eat some bees, there's not much problem. Some area, some bird may be worse, but it's not the worst thing. But when you have hornet like that, they just do an holocaust, man. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
It's like having a bear attacking your place, it's the same kind of thing. Most of it's gone. Because like the bear, when they attack hive, they like
Yeah.
to get in the brood. The brood have a lot of protein, and
Mm.
it's a bit like if you had all those.
Yeah. They're
It
not after
smush
the
out
honey. They're
like a
after
white.
the larva. Yeah.
Their
Yeah.
larva is like all white
Same.
juice, and the pollen patties. They like the pollen around the nest like that, and they just go on the honey after that. But
Yeah, they like yellow jacket nests just as much as a beehive.
yeah,
And
but bear,
it's because it's yeah, bears, yeah.
they go with their leg and sometimes get a couple bugs stacked and just go away with it like if it was nothing. And you never find all the bucks again because I knew, let's say, oh, I've added that many bucks,
That's
I
just
will
me
harvest that
stealing the
much.
boxes.
I
I
don't
got
I
bear
don't find them
prints.
back. Oh man, it's crazy. One time I had, I think it's 30. Yeah, I had like 5, 6 hive remaining on that spot, and I think I had like 25 or 30 hive destroyed by a bear. And the year after, the next spot was getting hit. I was crying, man, because it takes years to build your a spot.
Your hive, yeah.
At least for me, I was just starting, let's say, with 5, 6 hive and splitting and doing my own and trying to pick from the strongest one. And the bear have scrapped all of my breeding program. And at one point, I had some rodent. Uh, uh, One of the thing I found really annoying is a skunk. They scratch on the side of the hive and just eat them head first, So the bees don't have time to do much, and they go there when it's cooler and at night, so it's more calm and everything, and they're more slow. Uh, I was like, man, why it's getting all scratched on the side of my hive on Snow Eye? What the hell is that? And more one than another. And I started to notice that some of the hive were getting really aggressive, and the queen was
Huh.
like, let's say I knew a bit that hive and it's not that aggressive, but then the next year they start to be really aggressive, and I noticed some scratching on the front of the hive or on the wood itself, and I started to wonder how I can get rid of them because I tried to trap them, but every time that I try to trap them, they are way smarter than in the city. In the city, I've trapped some skunk really easily. On the vineyard, I've trapped the skunk easily, but I don't know why. On farming land in the field where I put my hive, those skunks seem more smart and they know to avoid those traps. And I wanted to just catch it to be sure it's that first. But at the same time, I did not really want that to have to discover a skunk in the
No,
trap
exactly, right?
and have it to pee just beside the hive because the wood would be stored around, right? So, and I was like, okay, if I find it, I can always shoot it with a 22 when I come back, but I need to go and assess the situation first and go see the farmer and say, do you want to come with me in the back of the field to maybe have the skunk pee before you reach the trap? It's kind of harder to convince someone with the skunk involved. So everyone that want to search the old skunk, whatever, I got a job for you. If you don't really remember what a skunk is, because the skunk smell of the strain and the skunk itself, it's not exactly the same, but it's similar. A skunk is more musky. And when you have a skunk that is smushed on the side of the road, have that dead smell and kind of musky and pissy, whatever. Yeah, okay, it can maybe a bit be similar, but I don't know, man. It's one of those annoying creatures that I've found that, uh, honestly, I really enjoy the character of a skunk, unless, if they can just get away from my hive, I'll be happy. Because in the city, normally the same trick with the bear. I just take my keys and check them. When I was going in the wood and there was a lot of bear and where I was like going to pick some raspberry or blueberry, I knew that when I go there, I just take some keys and hook them on my jacket that it's always shaking and never we've encountered any bear, but we're seeing some path of it. Sure, abducting a small black and white animal should be safe. Is that a pink? Oh, that one. I love it, man. If you get an alien abducting a skunk, it will be a party in this. Holy shit. Ju- Just think at the drama that's gonna be when.
Intergalactic war
What she's
started.
doing? I think she's dancing on her leg. Oh, wait a minute. She's showing her back. Whoops. Yeah, my dog was had recognized it at one point, like when just do that thing of, and my dog was like, "Oh, it's not a cat. I'm going out of it." It's so funny, man. When but man, I'm pretty sure some people had some tricks. But one of the things that people do sometimes in having it like a fenced uh electric fence around with the solar panel, but it need to be lower. But at one point we had like when we had trouble with the bear, we tried the electrify and having the kettle fencing, but I started to look at some stuff, and I had comment on Facebook. Oh man, that's one of the reasons why I don't post much. Well, I don't post of on Facebook anymore because I've posted stuff about the beer, saying, "Oh man, second year, whatever," and I've posted a video of it. Uh, the thing is, there is a lot of people that think we can afford to build a freaking prison for the hive with
Yeah.
reinforced metal and cement or whatever. I don't know what they're thinking about, how expensive it is and how we have to work around and all that. It was like, well, all those citizen solution may be good in your concept on paper or whatever, but try to financially make it logical to have all those metal and those cage and whatever. But we need to some like in blueberry where they to make the white blueberry field. They need some time to have some kind of cage to put the hive in it. But it's so annoying when you have to get a lift and put few hive in a cage, few hive there, when normally you may have maybe 30 of them lying there, 30 of them lying in a lot more far away. I don't know, like a mile away, another. So what normally we put about 15, 30 by spot. And when you try to picture how much space you need around and all that, fencing it will be really expensive and really annoying to work around because you may only use that area for a month or two in some commercial pollination. But they are in some place where the bear are it's their kingdom, and you're just allowing the blueberry to invade that field, and you take care of it. So it's blueberry everywhere. They use, I don't know if you've seen how they do that, like with that kind of a comb that they grab all the blueberry with the kind of comb, like it's all those small dent that the blueberry get in it, and you gotta kind of scoop at the end. I don't know if I could find it, but um, oh yeah, okay, I'll find it right away. Uh, share screen. That's that type of thing there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Berry
when you
picker.
go
Yeah.
harvest some white blueberry, they're really small, and you
Yeah, yeah.
just wish to get the most of them at the same time like that. That's if I can put it bigger, but that it's really like that guy is making money with that big one. It's really cool. And then after that, you need to kind of clean them out because you have a lot of green one in it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, that thing is really, really cool to use when they are. taking care of a field like that, they kind of chop them so they're all the same height. I don't know. Yeah, I guess on that. Can we go on that website? I don't know if we can see a field there, but no, we don't really see it. Oh, but you see, $27 for blueberry
Hmm.
picking in Maine, USA. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, that's pretty cool things, man. That kind of thing, you can make it really quick. So
Nice.
yeah, man, if you go pick some white blueberry, you'll find out pretty quick that if you try to get a handful of them, it may be really long. If you want to just pick the most ripe one, it's gonna be super long. So, and one of the things I found really annoying is when you get a super dry year, the blueberry dry on themselves before they get ready, and you don't, you may not be able to get anything there. But normal year, it looked like what they had on the picture. I was like, at one point, just trying to pick it by hand, and I was saying that one of my friend that he was like, dude, I want to pick it, and I don't know what you're thinking about, but we're having like big, like the Home Depot kind of big bucket.
Yeah.
B- He was like, dude, we got a couple of them every day. What the hell, man? You have so much of it? Like, yeah, sure, we got like drop in a place and they say, okay, all that square, you empty it. When you finish it, I mean, you just line it on the side of the road, and every night they come and pick it, or the morning after. And my friend had like a really good tricks to get rid of all the crappy one. He did himself like with a kind of bicycle stuff and a kind of how I can describe it. He had like a kind of wind turbine, if I can say, and making them drop a bit like if you were cleaning your seats.
I
So
see.
he
I
had a
see.
kind of a carpet, vibrating carpet, if I can say, and having that thing to blow to have all the small one and the small s- stick and stuff like that getting pushed by the wind. And like he's made one himself, like a kind of bicycle stuff that for in the field, so he had a lot better price for his bucket, because they were more clean, and I find it quite clever. I would like to be able to have the blueprint of that kind of thing to at least make it at home. But I tried to pick some wild blueberry and grow them in the same spot with the how you call it, like the hybrid blueberry that we have, the commercial stuff. And I tried, like I had maybe 4 or 5, and I got Northland, North Blue, Patriot. I got one from New Zealand, and I know I may have another one, and I have like that white blueberry here. And the white blueberry, I would say maybe once every 3-4 years, we may have a couple of them on it. But I've realized that we needed to have like a carpet of it and renew once in a while, because when it starts to have more older grow, it doesn't produce that much. But in the patch I've picked that one, there are some that were still growing where there was more wood, big trees growing there, like in the
Yeah.
same patch. And those were, I was like, oh, I guess the first place where they vlog there. And when it regrown, those blueberry bush just start to die off between the big trees. But some of them were like maybe 3 feet, 4 feet tall. I think it's maybe 3.5, 4 feet max that I've seen some, and they did not had that much on them when they were and a big size. But the smaller one, you may have a carpet of it, like quite crazy. But
Hmm.
I started to understand why, like, I don't know if it's because of the area where I was that they may not be as productive, whatever. But what I find interesting with those blueberry that they do for, at least over here, they mostly freeze it. So if you want to get fresh wild blueberry, it's just a short period and not everywhere you can get it. And most of the time, I assume they are bigger. I mean, the white blueberry are really the smallest thing you can get. Some are a bit bigger in some region, but uh, like I was finding when people talk about the blueberry strain, are they really meaning that white blueberry? Because grape can, I don't know. Like some grape can be more loud taste than that, and blueberry in general, it's not that smelly unless you do some kind of jam or whatever that
Yeah.
now you recognize that. But fresh, it's really light taste. No, it doesn't have that kind of acidic in the background, but it's not the most tasty things I've found out. The only way I found that it was more tasty is like let's say you dehydrate them and make it like a powder. And I was coating some stuff with blueberry, dehydrated white blueberry like that powder. That thing was really nice. Well, I don't. I was like, man, I need to concentrate that or in a syrup or dehydrated them or whatever, because the taste itself, it's really light. I don't even understand why people always want to get like that blueberry muffin smell. I mean, that's not exactly the same shit to me. It's like oh, blueberry in general, they are like the big blueberry one. They
Yeah.
taste nearly like grape to me. What? So when people say blueberry muffin, it's like a sweet grapey flavor, nearly. Like
Hmm.
I'm not sure if it's what people say, but the strain blueberry, I think it had like that kind of a bit like the Kush smell, but with the
Yeah.
sweet incense. Like there's a bit of kind of incense smell into it, but really sweet. And at one point, I remember stuff from the Khyber Pass that had that kind of grapey smell to it. But some of the Fino were like all drenched in oil, with like you would not even think that there is like that sweet grapey smell into the other Fino.
Hmm.
But either like they are side by side, and you look at them, you will hardly differentiate it just by the look. But then you smell it, and you're, whoa! But it had like that grapey and scent smell to it. I was like, it's not quite like the blueberry. But it made me think of the blueberry, but I don't know what Coot had with the velvet rush.
Hmm.
What I wish he could have get the preserved that line because it seemed to be a better line. Oh man, I don't want to hate at all DJ Short, but I, I'm just not sure that the strongest and most amazing plant have all been preserved in this line, or you've just not sold
I
them yet.
yeah
You may
yeah.
have not shared them on the market. It may just be that. But everyone on the West Coast had some blueberry stuff at one point. My friend in Alberta, he said late 90s, like 98, 99. Few people were like, "Oh, I got the blueberry things. It's really cool." And he said like it was different stuff, whatever. And early 2000, every time he had the smell of blueberry. So the other day,
Exactly.
he was telling me like, the early 2000s for me, it's like that everything was crossed with blueberry, and the other day he's like trying a kind of a ash that he had. Was like, what's your only thing that you're missing from the old time, and do you have any type of ash or whatever? It's like I missed before the Blu-ray time, because when it was good, we're never the same kind of thing. So after that, things have changed because it was more available to get a good seed, whatever. But like it's early 2000 that it's really changed for the good and the bad. I mean, it
Yep.
doesn't mean all the better before. No, it was just so different from each of those things. Do you really think that with all the what the permanent maker or marker or what the per Michigan and the cookies kind of thing, do you think that we're gonna see another time where people gonna get no bag appeal attached to it? Because
I
like
don't know.
blueberry, to my friend were like, oh, the effect and the smell, but not necessarily blueberry smell, but they had the kind of blueberries that smell that they remember. I don't know. Lately, some people were talking about cheese. I'm not excited at all for that. I maybe some are maybe good, but that's just a skunk. I mean, maybe a good skunk, but uh, what's the new thing it gonna be? Do you like a Thai hybrid, an African hybrid? What's the thing?
All of the above.
Everyone want to
No, just
landrace
something with a
hybrid
good
now.
name. Just a good name. Good name, good pictures. You're fucking set.
They're gonna run off of good name quick, man. That
Oh,
thing,
man.
that
You
thing may
never
have an
run out.
end. You think so? Because lately I've noticed that everyone start to name stuff with titties. Okay, and some of them are not related. But if you all name them titties, all those titties will make more titties together at one point and be a
This
big
is true.
family of booby strain.
Movies
It won't be
everywhere.
a booby trap. It will be a booby strain.
Booby
All the
strain.
boobies name will be crossed together,
Well,
right?
I
Because
think
all
with the I think with that, the booby strain. I don't know. Do we close out with the booby strain? Is that where we end?
well, Candyman have the have a stuff like what's Titi Latte? I think it's something like that, man. I mean,
Nice.
I've seen a lot of the
Sounds delicious.
yeah, and there's one I think it was like all you call Titi Glitter. I've seen that one too. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a lot of weird stuff like that. But let's do it just with the Z, okay? People were, oh man, it's we cannot call it skill. So it's all have that Z or whatever. And now they all cross with skill and all have that Z into it. But when you do like OGZ and
Yeah.
you cross it with titties and have a banana hammock into it, then how you end up calling it? So that's why, like, it may be fun to have a creative like that, but when you recross everything together and try to match up another name, V have already been taken. So you get the last letter of the alphabet. You need to come back to A. Maybe you need to. I don't know. When you had all the strain that people were like, why it's called M39? Like it's just a code in the freaking catalog. It had nothing to do with the name of the strain. It was like when you order, you write the M6, M8, whatever, and that one was the 39.
Yeah.
That was just the code in the catalog. It had nothing
And
to
it
do with it.
came to you inside a VHS tape or fucking I got a baby rattle one time or what
Oh
else did
yeah,
I get? Yeah. Yeah, I got a few different things. But
yeah. One I found quite funny is when I had a friend that her family is from Holland, and you cannot ship anything direct Holland to Canada without having your pack search in the 90s. That's
yeah.
like always that. But we were like a bit too young to know about the Operation Green Martian and all those things and who was involved and later on it was like, well, okay, if we knew it, I don't think she would have even think to get it. But how many people had seeds that they did not know? It was maybe from the next city, but they went in Amsterdam to get it. And when Kut was here talking about, oh, let's that's trying. Well, I don't know if it was William Wonder. He was like, oh, I'm pretty sure it's that city in Oregon. Oh, that Salmon Creek, whatever. Oh, it's that place, whatever. And I was like, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of those that have been like, let's say, name Hawaii something. Got nothing with Hawaii. It may be grown in Kentucky. The
Right.
Kentucky Madness. Yeah.
Well,
What we got there before we go? We say, "Whoa, I'm high as hell, BHO hit me like nothing, I swear." Well, buddy, I guess BHO
that's
hits you
that,
strong. Yeah, I'm not a
that's
big
what
fan
it
of
does.
BHO.
What it does.
I've found that some I was reading on the terpene level of different type of extraction, and BHO
Yeah.
can come out quite high, but most of the time the effect and taste is kind of bland. It's strong, but kind of bland. What's the thing? The distillate was making me think at the same type of effect. It kind of strip off a lot of the fun, and yeah, it's strong, but it's different. And
It's
one
definitely different.
yeah, the rosin stuff, I found it get a bit more fuller effect into it. I don't know what you like the most, but to me, I would say rosin or ashes would be a better rounding effect. I don't know. It depends what you search into. Because I like to smoke some stuff that are really bad ashes producer, and in today's market, that kind of thing are less and less available. It's not, you cannot wash it much. I remember a strain when I was younger, it was so greasy
Mm.
that if you would like to dry sift it, you need to dry it like have some dry ice or you know, you cannot get that to just tumble normal things like other strain. It was super greasy, and nobody want to smoke that kind of thing anymore because you had to light up the joint 5 times. So
This is
maybe
true.
some people may miss that. It, uh, I was finding it strange because it was a strain from Afghanistan, if I remember, to make ash with it. Well, that plant at least was kind of greasy. Like you're able to get the resin off of your finger with a kind of oily feeling to your finger after that. But you were able to get it all out. But it was really dark ash, like a kind of tar, really flexible. Like as soon that it's warm up a bit, it's really flexible. But I've never enjoyed that much that kind of thing. I was liking a bit more like the bit more sandy stuff, a bit more at least. Like when people talk about the Afghani number one, it's
Mm-hmm.
a Mazar, and
Yep.
it's a lot more up north. And some people are over there that are more fanatic and know more of their stuff. They say the Mazar Sharif or that kind of variety that they grow there. I don't remember what's the name of it, but they say that it's more enjoyable. The ash is different, but some ash from south, I think Kut was saying that too. That was more dark, like really black ash. That's the one I'm talking about. Like really sedative stuff. Really, you don't have as much of the head high on it. So even if I'm not a big fan of Afghani number one, it comes from a region where they have the reputation to have a good quality. And it doesn't mean they are stronger ash. I mean, the stuff from the south, it's really strongly sedative sometimes from at least what they're used to do. But we need to think that times are changing and they tend to grow a lot of that variety from Mazar Sharif out in other region that it did not necessarily were growing that one majority. And what you think was there back then when the hippie were going there may not be exactly the same thing that they grow there. It doesn't mean it's gone, but it's just not the main strain that they grow there anymore. And that's true for those more bigger valley. But the more isolated valley, they tend to preserve more their variety. Doesn't mean it's better, but it's just gonna be a bit different from each other. But that's the one that we had like that was like a really, I think they were calling it Gabble Baba or something. Anyway, a greasy stuff, man. I don't remember having anything like that since the fucking 20 years, man. It's the most funny shit I've was remembering with some of my friends. Do you remember that weed we had to like it was costing you more in big lighter than the weed itself to burn it? You,
That was the stuff that Infamous would put the pop on. That's why you needed so many lighters.
well, like the
Uh,
the the fact that they were using it for ash and were dumb enough to roll the flower of it and try to smoke it may tell a lot on how like we don't we're the dumb one trying to burn that weed as a flower. Maybe the ash was better. I don't remember. It's a long time ago. But it's one of those things when some people say, I want back some Afghani or whatever, a pure Afghani. And to me, I like that memory of that really tar stuff like that are those that are just tasting like grass and acrid. Like, I don't know if you have a cat that pee in some clipping grass and you try to light it on fire when it's still green. That's exact like that's kind of disgusting stuff that was like, did you really want it? Uh,
sounds
I mean,
horrible.
unless they describe me what the smell of what they pick over there, I know there's all the weirdest things. And if you talk about rancid nut oil, like the sesame oil that could turn rancid, mixed with old diesel left on the sun, I'm not sure you're gonna gain your customer at the shop, like saying, "Oh, it can be super good," or "Oh, you remember when you've hit a skunk and the smell was still there a week after on your car? Yeah, yeah, we got a strain for you, exactly like that. You want to
Huh.
not? It's the sell point are not always easy for those. I know when you smoke it, it's the fun stuff for you, but. I just think of the guy at the shop trying to sell it to someone that don't have any idea that it exists, something like that, and a plant could replicate. To me, it was the most funny shit is that the plant could replicate the most wild smell. That in that environment, you really don't know how that plant have come out with that smell, but it you could relate it to something else in the world. That's whatever it is, a flower, old diesel, whatever it is. But man, everyone is on gas. Everyone is on candy. Everyone is on. Okay, now
That's the
they
way it
want the
goes.
weirdest freaking smell to it. I'm telling you that shit get no end for the smell. But what kind of name they come out with? I guess I want next week to have some people coming out with what they're gonna do with the game, the name game. If you're running the same strain, you remove yourself a possibility to name that another cultivar with that name. So I don't know if the gorilla butternuts is then started to be white truffle, it sounds more appealing. But if it's the same clone, and you do a cross with it, and you need 20 other name, all the truffle stuff would be gone. Now we got the French macaron. Okay, all the dessert stuff gonna be gone. You're gonna get the barbecue. I don't know. I guess next week you're gonna get the pad thai strain. So I'm looking for a good pad thai strain and maybe some roast beef uji. I don't know. Do you want the sauerkraut skunk?
Something like that. I'll try it all. I'll try it all.
Oh man,
But it is.
maybe cabbage eating skunk fart.
I would smoke that. That sounds delicious. That sounds delicious.
You get some punch into it, and you cross
A
some
little bit.
cheese with it. Holy hell, man! The Parmigiano cross with
The Parmigiano
aged
skunk
English
ass.
cheddar
Skunk ass. Got it.
cross with skunk ass. Yeah, you need a
Beautiful.
bad cross with skunk ass so that it really have the asses.
Exactly.
Nobody
Right
will
on.
call it gassy. It will be assy.
Hell yeah. Well, let's call it there.